Live from Williamsport, it is the 2025 MLB Little League Classic. And after a rain delay, we are set to get underway. The first pitch scheduled at 7:45. So finally, after the long wait, it'll soon end now. Soon enough, between the Seattle Mariners and the New York Mets. These two are in the thick of tight playoff battles as the Mariners are chasing down the Houston Astros for the top spot in the AL West. They are one game behind them with a 68-56 record. The Astros stand at 69-55. The Mets, meanwhile, are in the midst of a free fall right now, having gone slowly ever since the All-Star break, and they are 5.5 games back of the Philadelphia Phillies in the NL East, and are one game ahead of the Cincinnati Reds in the NL wildcard race for the final spot. As they currently stand, they are 4 games behind the San Diego Padres and 5 behind the Chicago Cubs in the wildcard race. And they're having to hold off the Reds on the hunt. Hello everyone, I am Alec Nava, and welcome to historic Bowman Field at Williamsport. After a rain delay and some technical issues, finally, we are back here at Williamsport. Seattle is the favorite to win this. However, anything can happen. They're currently second in the AL West. They still have a fighting chance to earn a home playoff series while facing a 1-game deficit to the Astros. Cal Raleigh is leading the MLB in both home runs and RBI with 46 long balls and 100 runners batted in. 4 starting pitchers have an ERA under 4.00 for the season. They can beat teams in a variety of ways. They're not the dominant pitching team that they once were, but their rotation is still as elite as ever. Between Brian Wu, Luis Castillo, George Kirby, Logan Gilbert, Bryce Miller, and sometimes Logan Evans, who made some starts over the last few games, and this rotation has been lights out. And now they finally have the offense to back this up. Kirby is 8-5, a 3.71 ERA over 15 starts this season, recording 90 strikeouts over 85 innings. He's on a streak of 4 consecutive quality starts entering this game, has recorded at least 6 strikeouts in all of those appearances. The Mets have already struck out 22 times in this series. They're still get a chance to get on the line with Kirby. And the Mets, on the other hand, they have to turn things around fast. Otherwise, this is going to get ugly fast. Because the Mets are in the midst of a free fall. This as it does not look good all throughout. Just sliding down that hill between Julio Rodriguez, Cal Raleigh, Francisco Lindor, Pete Alonso, who played Little League ball in the past. As we go over to the lineups that have been slotted in by these two teams. Dan Wilson's team, he is the manager of the Seattle Mariners, having once played catcher for them. Another Mariners great, Edgar Martinez, is part of this coaching staff as the director of hitting strategy, wearing the number 11. So the Mariners lineup looks like this. At leadoff, batting at leadoff is Randy Arozarena, the left fielder. Second is Cal Raleigh at the catcher position. Center fielder Julio Rodriguez, batting third. At first base is Josh Naylor, he is 4th in the order. Eugenio Suarez at third base, he is 5th. In a much needed balance on the line between him and Naylor to stabilize the middle of the order. Jorge Polanco is the designated hitter, he is batting 6th. Dom Canzone at right field, he is 7th. J.P. Crawford is 8th, starting at the shortstop position. Cole Young, the rookie, at second base. He is one of 2 rookies who have started in a Mariners game, the other being Ben Williamson, who is in the minor leagues right now after the acquisition of Geno Suarez, or rather the reacquisition, considering that he spent a time with the Arizona Diamondbacks in between 2 separate stints with the Mariners. George Kirby is the starting pitcher for the Mariners. And for the Mets, their lineup looks like this. At leadoff is shortstop Francisco Lindor. Very few shortstops bat leadoff, but Lindor is willing to do that. Right fielder Juan Soto at second. Left fielder Brandon Nimmo batting third. Pete Alonso is fourth in the order. He is at first base. He just recently passed Darryl Strawberry for the most home runs batted in Mets franchise history, breaking the record that has lasted for 37 years. DH is Jeff McNeil batting fifth. Catcher Francisco Alvarez at sixth in the order. Brett Beatty is at second base batting seventh. Mark Vientos replaces Ronnie Mauricio on the lineup. He is at third base batting eighth. Cedric Mullins has been bumped down to the ninth spot. He's at center field. He is the last batter up in this order. And the starting pitcher is Clay Holmes, who once was pitching out of the bullpen for the New York Yankees in the last few years. Now he is a starting pitcher. The Mets, they previously tried to convert Seth Lugo from a reliever to a starting pitcher, and that's worked out as he's one of the best pitchers in the AL and on the Kansas City Royals. As we go around throughout these storylines, these little leaguers playing some catch as they throw the ball to one another. They do a nice tic-tac-toe between one against another on the way for the opening pitch. And there is the opening pitch. All the little league teams that have come here to Williamsport having collaborated for this opening pitch. To get Ian Genge on board here. How are you, my friend?
Well, the Royals got the sweep, but the Cardinals were absolutely useless today. Couldn't even win a game against the Yankees.
Well, speaking of the Cardinals, this is the Aaron Judge needed to get a home run against one last team to have homer against the 29 other teams besides the Yankees, and that team was the Cardinals. He's now homered against the 29 teams not named the New York Yankees. So that's a milestone for him. Yeah. As we speak of the standings, we know the Mariners, they are in the thick of a tight AL West battle. They're just one game behind the Astros, and the Mets, they're on free fall right now. It starts so good, but now it is OMG in a bad way. Not the OMG in a good way that we were used to seeing last year when they had Jose Iglesias. But this is free fall for the Mets. They need to turn things around and quick because the Reds, they're hard charging now. And even though they're a division rival with the Pirates, the Reds are a fun team to watch because Ellie De La Cruz and all those young guys over there, they're leading the charge of this core. So now we're just moments away from... So we're getting closer to the first pitch. So what has to happen for the Mets to turn around their season?
Win. They have to win.
I mean, that is literally the easiest explanation, just a straightforward answer. Especially given that they're 3-14 in their last 17 games, and they have blown a lead in 7 of their last 8. Their bullpen has been a huge concern, even with the acquisition of Ryan Helsley.
Yeah, at this point, Alec, just cue up Meet the Mets and let Tree do the voice, because if they miss the playoffs, you know what's coming next.
Well, 5 points doesn't need to be subjected to this torture. Come on.
Hey, you know what? He chose to be a Mets fan. He knew what comes with being a Mets fan, and he still chose.
Oh, that is brutal. Brutality defined.
And as a matter of fact, let's look real quick. If we look at the Mets, they're only a game ahead of the Reds. Now that right there is some funny stuff.
Oh my good. If you know a Mets fan, please give them a hug. Because, I don't know how Mets fans put up with this torture year after year.
Yeah, it's worse. You know, you could be a Pirates or Rockies fan. Oh, sorry, Alec.
I mean, that's true. That's true. Yeah. If we were in the same room, you'd be giving me a hug right now because watching the Pirates is torture, and I've come to accept this.
Yeah.
Oh. And I know you and John were together when yesterday the Dodgers and the Padres met with one another. The Padres, they were hard charging and took the NL West lead for a day after overcoming a 9-game deficit. But we know what the Dodgers can do. They were up and down throughout the last month and a half, but we know this Dodgers team. When push comes to shove, there's going to be a time where they were going to put on their big boy pants and light up, and that they did last night.
Yeah, I would say, look, I discussed this with John. The Padres right now are top heavy, and we went through their starting rotation. It is bad. It is so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, their best pitcher, stat-wise, and just overall, in 2025, is Nick Pivetta.
Yeah, and their second best pitcher just got back on the IL, Michael King.
Oh my God, Padres fans, you may make it to the playoffs, but you are going nowhere.
Yeah, I know it's easier over the AL because at least, but yeah, I have the Mariners as my dark horse. I think the AL, it is doable to get out there alive. Whether you're the Mariners, the Astros, maybe even the Blue Jays in that regard. If you're the Padres, and I know John wrote this on his post-game blog, if you're the Padres and you have that 5-headed monster of a bullpen between Morejon, Estrada, Adam, Miller, and Suarez, and you pair that up with a starting rotation that is awful, what's the point of having the best bullpen in the MLB if your rotation can't get it done? You're just going to exhaust your bullpen.
I went over, because we got on the topic of, because whenever I'm in the room and we talk about bullpens, inevitably, Holland, Davis, and Herrera always come up HDH for the Royals. But I pointed out that the reason the Royals did so well was because they had a formula.
Yeah. Getting close here to the start of this game. And here we go. It's Clay Holmes getting set to throw the opening pitch. And, he just hit a Rosarena on the shoulder on the first pitch. This isn't the start that Holmes want to get in this Little League Classic. And immediately a Rosarena is on board. First pitch hits a Rosarena on the shoulder. And now here comes the big dumper, Cal Raleigh, who has 46 home runs on the year. Trying to add to that, a Rosarena tried to get out the way of that. It just hits him. It does hit his shoulder before it hit the helmet. That was a scary moment for a Rosarena in the opening act. Mets are third in the NL wildcard race. The Mariners have the first wildcard ahead of the Boston Red Sox and New York Yankees. Holmes delivers. It is downstairs. Cal Raleigh takes a sinker downstairs, 94 miles an hour. And Raleigh, in Cologne, North Carolina, he did play some Little League ball. Those Nintendo Switch 2 jersey patches on the Mariners. In addition of the sponsor, as Rosarena gets back safely on the pickoff attempt. Runner at first, that is a Rosarena as he was hit. That's the So, Holmes, who was on the bullpen of the Yankees last year, Raleigh, smack foul to right. There'll be 1 ball, 1 strike. 328 feet is the right field pole. It'll be a similar distance as the left field pole. You would love to meet Larry Bird. As per the interview questions made by the Little Leaguers on who we want to meet. Raleigh. That's low. He checks his own swing. It'll be 2 balls and 1 strike. 250 batting average on this cloudy night at Williamsport in north central Pennsylvania. Here's a 2-1, and that is inside by a bit. A curveball coming at 84 miles an hour, 3 balls and 1 strike, so Holmes is in the danger territory. Holmes has been one of the more consistent starting pitchers for the Mets this season. It what has been a tumultuous year on the starting rotation. Their most consistent starter, David Peterson, swung on and missed as that one went downstairs on the slider, so make it a full count for Cal. And there's a realistic scenario which he could likely win American League MVP. Little Leaguers getting their phones out as to witness a possible home run from Big Dumper. On deck is J-Rod Julio Rodriguez. As Holmes readies up, payoff. And that's a hard hit ball, but it's fouled to right field. It's a curveball. These Little Leaguers can meet some of their heroes, especially you consider Francisco Lindor and Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez, Pete Alonso, among those that are well known between these two teams. Another payoff. And that one swung on and missed again. That's the first strikeout of this game. Tried on a slider that went downstairs and Raleigh went golfing. This Mariners team is, for as good as they are in the long balls, they are prone to striking out as they tend to chase pitches a lot of times. J-Rod is up. As you look at the strikeout numbers on the Mariners, strike 1 here is Rodriguez from Loma de Cabrera in La República Dominicana. The 0-1 is the count. The pitch. Rodriguez fouls this down the left field line. So the pole is 320 feet out. So among the strikeout numbers, so the Mariners, for as good as they are on the long ball, they are prone to striking out. 124 strikeouts for J-Rod on the year. And Rodriguez puts us on the ground to third. Chance for 2. There it is. A 5-4-3 double play to send us to the bottom of the first. And the Mets defense holds firm.
So Alec, what I was saying before I had to go on mute for a sec, I was talking about the starting rotation for the Royals. Their starting pitching consisted of Edison Volquez, Yordan Ventura, Jeremy Guthrie, Chris Young, Danny Duffy, with trade acquisition Johnny Cueto. Now, their ERAs, while not otherworldly, were 4.76, 4.08, 5.95, I know. The 4.08 and 3.55 and 3.06. Now, on their own, it's not that impressive. But considering the fact that their bullpen arms, at least one of their bullpen arms, their closer, Wade Davis, had an ERA of .94. Okay, so all the starting pitching had to do was go 5 or 6 innings, and the bullpen pretty much shut the door on every team.
An ERA of under 1 is almost unheard of in the MLB.
Well, yeah. So when I say the Royals had a formula, it was have a lead going into the 6th inning, have a lead going into the 6th or 7th inning, and shut the door with the bullpen. That's what that was. The Padres do not have anything close to that, even with that high-powered bullpen.
And even with Nick Pivetta having an ERA under 2.5 or 3. I need to check the stats again, but the Padres have yet to have that formula. George Kirby was winless in his first 3 starts of the season, 0-3, 8.56 ERA, but in his last 12, 8-3. He fit that one perfectly on a 98-mile-an-hour sinker. Dead center, excellent placement. Right on Francisco Lindor from Caguas, Puerto Rico. So, bottom of the first, Lindor leading off from the shortstop position to 0-1. And Lindor tap fouls this behind him on the fastball. His hobby is riding a bicycle. Do remember that these are some of the answers that the major leaguers got when they were answering questions from the little leaguers. 0-2. The pitch. Up high. We want to have more control on that one. So that makes it a 1-2 count for George. 255 batting average is Lindor on the year. Now we do have to take into account, here's the 1-2 as Lindor drills one to right field as down for a base hit. Towards Ken zone, and Lindor is held at first, and he is the first hitter of this game to reach on base. Comfortable playing at the leadoff spot. Gets this one drilled to right field on a line towards shallow right, and is able to reach on base. Juan Soto, one of the best sluggers in the league. He's now on base. He's now at the plate on his first pitch. Didn't see that curveball coming. From Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, he did not see that curveball coming, and that makes it a 0-1 count for strike one. Mr. and Mrs. Met having made the trip. They're both here watching their team as Kirby. Oh, Lindor is caught! What was he thinking? He tried to get a head start, headed towards second base. However, he didn't see the pickoff attempt from Kirby coming. Kirby knew that Lindor was going to steal second base and caught him off guard. And Lindor, he tried to duck it, but Young and Naylor were having none of that. Naylor, all of a sudden, a threat to steal a base. He has 10 steals plus to begin his Mariners tenure. A free agent to end the year. Favorite singer, Bad Bunny, Juan Soto. 881 OPS with 71 RBI. The 1-1. Soto up the middle. And this will be fielded by Crawford. Underhands this to put him away. What a play by J.P. Crawford. Gold Glover playing shortstop, and his ability to read the play right after Kirby. Yeah, Kirby knew that Lindor was trying to steal a base, and Crawford saw that this was going up the middle. He did not allow this to get onto the outfield, and underhands this right towards Naylor, who kept his left foot on the bag to put Soto away. Now it is Brandon Nimmo. Check swing at third. They say that well, they're not showing it yet on the ESPN side. His hometown is Cheyenne, Wyoming. And Nimmo getting ready for the 1-0. Nimmo chopper over back to Kirby, and that's an easy out. The Mariners able to put the Mets away, and even though Lindor tried to steal second, he was caught as Kirby decided to throw the pickoff, and that takes us to the second inning here at Bowman Field. Alec Nava, Ian Genge with you. We'll return.
All right. So the Royals complete a sweep of the White Sox today, but other than Cleveland losing, they have made no significant headway in catching the Yankees because the Yankees swept the Cardinals. And their next series is a 4-game series against the Texas Rangers.
That could go either way because the Royals and Rangers are separated by 1.5 games in the standings as of right now. With the Rangers, they're treading around 500. The Royals at the same thing. But it makes sense that both of them bought at the deadline. So as for those playoff aspirations, the Rangers got Merrill Kelly for a reason.
Yeah. Not quite sure. Yeah, I don't know how to feel, Alec, because on one hand, the Royals continue to win. They took the series against Washington and wish they would have swept, but then they come back and sweep the White Sox. They win 3 out of 4 against the Rangers. We're in a better discussion, but the Yankees have to start losing for this to be a reality. Or by some crazy twist of fate, the Tigers have to go on another losing streak for a shot at the division.
Which is a long shot because the Tigers, they have since recovered, and the Rangers, they're on a slump right now. The Royals, your Royals are back to the winning ways. The Yankees are back on the winning ways. The Red Sox have been on and off as of late. So they're showing a little crazy question, but they're asking these players, would you take 100 Pete Alonsos or 1 polar bear as this first pitch is outside for Clay Holmes? But would you rather, but if you were to pick between 100 Pete Alonsos or 1 polar bear, who are you taking?
That's simple. 1 polar bear, because of the saying. Hang on, I'm trying to remember. But basically, is hang on, I'll think of it. But
wait. Uh-oh. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about though, but if I remember, yeah, I know you're cutting in and out, but I think I remember what you're talking about. If it's brown, lie down. If it's black, fight back. If it's white, good night.
Sir, that is exactly what I mean.
There we go.
So yeah, I'm taking 1 polar bear over 100 Pete Alonsos.
So it's a little fun question to ask in the midst of this Little League Classic. 2-2 to Josh Naylor as we're going along. Still scoreless here in the second inning. Still waiting for our first run. Naylor drills one, but it's fouled as it goes beyond right field. Might have went right over that building's roof. That ball was crushed. It left the yard though. But still, it'll go on scoreless. 2-2 to Naylor. Fouled again. As Pete Alonso won't get a chance to play this as he's on the live mic with the MLB on ESPN crew. It's what a follow-up question with those little leaguers about 100 Pete Alonsos or 1 polar bear. Oh my God. Back in his kid days, he was practicing baseball swings, and as he swung when he's running around the base paths, accidentally hit his dad with one of those batted balls. Well, we made sure not to hit it too hard though. But it feels like a lifetime ago, but a very good lifetime ago. Chop foul to right on the changeup, so Holmes will stay put. What a transition it is for Holmes from reliever to starter. And these Little League kids are enjoying their time having some snacks and hot dogs here at Bowman Field. Naylor crushes one, But this is going to be caught by Soto. Didn't have enough distance to go beyond the warning tracks. So he's going to go over to the dugout. So Connor Smith, one of the Little Leaguers, nicknamed Polar Bear, having an interview question. So Pete Alonso has company on having the same nickname. So one of his teammates bestowed the name Polar Bear right onto him. Here's Geno Suarez. Down the middle. Good placement for Holmes on the sinker, 93. It's at the left center. Cool nickname for Alonso. He's got, well, at least he's got to chill out at some point, because sometimes you would see him having no chill. And no chill on that pitch as Suarez reached on and missed. 0-2. 21 pitches into Holmes' night. This game originally slated to start at 7:10 Eastern, but was postponed by 35 minutes because of a rain delay. Suarez puts one on the ground, caught on a dive by Vientos, and it's over. Pete Alonso. A nice catch by Vientos as he tried to go all the way across to Alonso to try to put out Geno, but Geno is safe. I don't know if he would have been the throw anyway, as Vientos dove onto it towards the base path. Alonso was off the base. He had to jump off to get off. Suarez would have beaten the throw anyway. So, but that would be scored as an infield single as Alonso jumped off the base. And this ball, deep center field, retreating back is Mullins for the catch at the tracks. So it was not enough. As such, Jorge Polanco first pitch flyout. Though oh so close was Polanco. And Holmes keeps this game scoreless, courtesy of Cedric Mullins. Geno Suarez stays put at first base. Now up on the order is Dom Canzone, who's having a spectacular year at right field, batting .284. Just missed on the first one. Is just slightly to the right, not by much though. It'll be 1 ball and no strikes to Canzone. And we're also going to keep track of the status of Victor Robles, who is on a rehab assignment. The 1-0. Canzone puts one on the ground to second. It'll be an easy put out. And both teams now tied at 1 hit apiece, but still scoreless here as we head to the bottom of the second when we return.
All right, so I just took a look at the standings, and it hurts me to do this, but if the Mariners lose tonight, the Royals will be 4 games back from basically everyone that's currently holding a wild card spot. 4 games back of the Yankees and 4.5 games back of the Mariners and the Red Sox. So, as much as it hurts, I gotta go with the Mets tonight.
Well, I know it's out of necessity, but I know for a fact that for Cooper's sake, he needs his Mariners to win tonight so as to keep up with the Astros in the division race and have the Mariners get a shot at the AL West title, something that they haven't done since that record-breaking year in 2001. Yeah, but nonetheless, about the Mariners, yes, they're so good that they finally have the offense to complement their pitching staff. Yet at the same time, for all the talk about the long ball, which they're so good at, they tend to strike out a lot. Per the stats, Julio Rodriguez, he has 24 home runs, 124 strikeouts. Randy Arozarena, 23 long balls, 141 strikeouts. Cal Raleigh, 46 home runs, which leads the entire MLB, 141 strikeouts. J.P. Crawford, who has 9 home runs but has 117 hits on the year. On the season, he has 95 strikeouts. So they do strike out a lot, and they're prone to it. So they got to avoid that as much as possible. So getting back here at Williamsport. Earlier today, as the players, they came out, the team playing, they signed autographs with the Little League players. And what a time here at Williamsport whenever two teams come to Bowman Field, as they're chatting around and taking pictures and signing autographs with the Little Leaguers. We're here for the Little League World Series, which is currently underway still. Pete Alonso, the polar bear, leading off the second inning for the Mets. They're going to check the swing. They'll say he went 0-1. He is from Tampa. He played for Tampa Bay's Little League team in his childhood days. Very few Little Leaguers, they make it to the big leagues, but here's some of there are. Alonso, Lindor, Rodriguez, Raleigh. Alonso up the middle. Cole Young can't get it. It's a base hit for Alonso as Young tried to go for the ball, diving to his right. It's a 96.7 mile an hour exit velocity on the ground to center. It's a slid past George Kirby as Young, he tried to go for the ball. Good try by Young. It just was a little too fast for him to pick this one up, to scoop it up. As he fist bumps Starling Marte, who is not on the lineup tonight. He would otherwise be the DH, but tonight is McNeil. Takes one down the middle. It is a curveball at 86. 0-1. As there is a runner at first. McNeil from Santa Barbara, California. Best friends with Alonso. These two in best buds on the Mets, as McNeil sends one towards left field. That's down right in front of a Rosarina. And Alonso is held at second. Third hit for this game for the Mets, and George Kirby already facing some early troubles. Jeff McNeil, one after another. The line keeps moving. As the ball was short of a Rosarina at left field. As he rushes after this one. Runners at first and second. And Francisco Alvarez at the plate. 13 pitches on to the night for Kirby. As Kirby looks behind him. And now delivers the first pitch to Alvarez. That's down the middle. On the slider in 90. Doesn't go after that one. He is from Gatire, Venezuela. The Kirby has done a good job at not allowing free passes to the batters. 23 RBI for Alvarez on the year, 761 OPS. And Cal Raleigh wearing the plate, to the chest plate where he has Little Leaguers all around him. That pitch was off, but Raleigh does a good job at tracking that one down. Makes it 0-2. That's all of his teammates on his chest plate. He didn't share that out until he showed up here at Williamsport. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. As it's Alvarez who chased that one down the middle. 1-2. It was actually a 1-1 count previously. To the chest protector at the chest plate. And those were all of his teammates that he had for his time with the Mariners. And Alvarez wants to put one on the ground. Fly ball, but it's foul. Kirby's continuing to throw sliders here onto the sequence, onto Alvarez. There's 4 straight sliders, 90, 89, 89, and 89. So it's all sliders on the sequence. First and second, nobody out. The 1-2. Fly ball. This will go to left center field, and that is right off of Rodriguez. This may score in 2. Alonso rounds third. McNeil rounds third. And the Mets on the board. They score 1. McNeil was held at third base. Second and third, nobody out as the polar bear strikes here at Williamsport. A fly ball to left center right off of Rodriguez. See, he tried to dive and make the catch, but was right off of the tip of his glove. Gonna take a look at that and shake his head. He thought he had that one, but couldn't. Good base running all around between the Polar Bear, Jeff McNeil, Francisco Alvarez, and now here's Brett Beatty. Beatty. That was dangerously close to his head on the fastball. He is from Round Rock, Texas. He's there to make the play. He would love to meet Kevin Hart or Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. 13 home runs for him as Beatty. Chop foul on the curve. 1-1 is the count. Had to get a second space started because the first base there were... because the first base, it was the rain delay. Didn't know when the first pitch was going to be. 1-1 here. Mets lead 1-0. Kirby delivers. Fouled off of himself. One of the rare foul balls that you'll ever see. It was a fastball. It was very heavily hit. Carlos Mendoza, the Mets manager, looks onwards. It is Beatty. He said again, want to check in on this young third baseman. 1-2 is the pitch count. Mark Vientos on deck. The 1-2. Upstairs on the fastball. Kirby could not find the zone that time around. So it'll even up the count at 2. Nobody's at the bullpen. And there's no need for that to happen. Bottom of the second. Dan Wilson looks on. The 2-2. Downstairs. And that makes the count full. After that slider, which was at 89 miles an hour, this is not what Kirby wanted. After what has been a very sloppy second inning for him. Pitching staff usually dominant, but has not seen that dominance. Full count. McNeil was at third. Payoff. A chop foul that'll keep him alive at the plate. And this next pitch will be the 25th that Kirby would have thrown. Alvarez. So Alvarez at second base. McNeil at third as Kirby takes a breath. Vientos on deck. He's waiting for his turn. Batting .227, 7 home runs. For HRBI, he's had a solid 2024. Payoff. Up the middle. And that's going to score McNeil. It's 2-0 Mets. Fired back over to Kirby. And that'll hold Alvarez at third. How about 4 hits on this inning for the Mets? Runners at the corners and nobody out. As this was hard hit up the middle. It's George Kirby having himself a rough outing. Rarely does his team take losses, but this doesn't look like a solid outing for Kirby. He's having himself a slow night. It's Beatty over at first base. A mound visit on to Kirby as he's having a conversation with the pitching coach Pete Woodworth. 25 pitches in and Kirby's having himself a rough night already. First and third, no outs. And Vientos at the plate. Ninth in the order is Mullins, who is on deck. Vientos, the Norwalk, Connecticut native. As he has struggled throughout this season. But he sees this one go downstairs, to not attempt to swing at that. It is a first pitch ball. 633 OPS for Vientos at third base. Been a tough year for Vientos. But one swing could change the fortunes of him around. The 1-0. That's just outside on the sinker 95. So Kirby rarely falls behind, especially on nights like these. First round pick out of Elon University. Vientos on the 2-0. Vientos, that's skied up to center field. That's deep enough to score in a run. Rodriguez makes the catch, and it is 3-0 as Alvarez is in. It is 3-0. The Mets quickly striking here in the Little League Classic. So far, it has been friendly for them as they desperately need any bit of momentum so as to save themselves in a free fall. They have blown a lead in 7 of the last 8 games, losing 14 of 17. Old school Little League approach for Vientos, and here's Mullins. Mullins fouls one to right. Slider at 89. Kirby does throw a lot of strikes. Mullins, the Greensboro, North Carolina native. Going for the Piedmont Triad, over to Baltimore, and now the Bronx. His favorite TV show is The Office. He does watch it on flights. He has good speed too whenever he's on the base paths. 0-1. Fouled out of play. 0-2, and Kirby now getting the leverage, 30 pitches in. And we need to regain that control. Mullins switching to number 28 as the 31 is retired to honor Mike Piazza. Runner at first with 1 out. The 0-2. And Mullins, tap foul. So he's... No, they're going to call it a strikeout. I thought it was hit. He missed that one. He swung on and missed it. And now we'll go back to the top of the order with Francisco Lindor. His favorite TV show, Duck Dynasty. And my mind's like, no, God, please, no. Whenever I messed up. Because I thought there was a tap foul be an act, but that wasn't. Lindor, slow chopper, and that's enough to put the Mets away. There's a soft toss from Young to Crawford. That ends the second, and the Mariners will be due up for the third now. Mets lead 3-0. We'll be right back.
Okay, so Mets score 3 in the bottom of the second. I'm struggling here, Alec, because on one hand, a Mariners loss brings the field that much closer. Even though it's still 4 games, all 4 wild card teams are within striking distance to do damage on each other. On the other hand, the Mets lose. It's a gateway for another lull Mets, for another season of lull Mets, and we all know that meme is funny no matter how you slice it.
Oh, it just never gets old, those memes. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yep. So now, as we're taking a look around on the league, so most of the games have already been, so almost all the games have already been wrapped up. It's just this game that is underway. The craziest of them being the Phillies surviving the Nationals 11-9.
Let's also not gloss over the fact the Red Sox, even though they took the series, lost 5-3 to the Marlins.
That too, and one of the highlights was that the Marlins right fielder, he tried to catch the ball, but he ended up losing control of himself and lost his balance. The ball leaves the yard. Red Sox home run. He redeems himself with a home run of his own, and it's a go-ahead home run too. You rarely even see this. But that right field wall has had a lot of moments at Fenway. First pitch strike as we head to the third inning now for J.P. Crawford from Long Beach, California. So these guys were asking about their favorite emoji. A lot of them the laughing, crying emoji. Curveball, perfect fit for Clay Holmes. Hey, how good has Clay Holmes been as a Mets starter? The Holmes gets set for the 0-2. Crawford batting .262. Holmes deals. And just outside, if Crawford was not the MLB, he said that he would want to be a barbecue restaurant owner. Oh, come on. I'll show you that most of us already had dinner here. Stop getting us hungry. Crawford drives one down the right field line. Just fouled. Barely. And barbecue restaurants, who would not love that? Barbecue is always delicious. And some young Mets fans doing the Soto shuffle here as they just finished playing the Adams family on the Oregon side. Oh, Crawford hurts himself on the swing. That ball bounced off. That ball was hit hard and it bounced off of him. The medical staff comes onto him to check on it to make sure that there's nothing serious. Crawford shakes it off, but that bounced off his two shins and near his balls. Pause on that one. It's 3-0 Mets. But sometimes it's a rare moment that happens. 1-2. Crawford lines one down the right field line, and that's going to be a base hit. A bounce back for Crawford. One pitch after he hurt himself on the groin. That will take all that pain from that swing away. The relief. The nice swing as he went low and chased that ball, lined it down the right field line. This time it stayed fair. The player's weak at bat. This will bring us to the bottom of the order, whereas the rookie, Cole Young, who's found himself as a key staple on the second base side. Strike one on the fastball 93. Young has 3 home runs on the year. One of them came against the Texas Rangers when Eugenio Suarez made his return to the Mariners. It was a shutout victory for the M's as Young. Chance to turn 2, Beatty, Lindor. And Young is safe at first. So replace Crawford with Young at first base. So Crawford's out. Young takes his place at first base. So it's went up towards the right side. And the ability of Beatty to spot the ball, you see where they're going, that was key for the Mets. Now we go back to the top of the order, where it's Arozarena, who started the game being hit by a pitch. Way outside was that curveball. 1-0. And his favorite app is YouTube. And who doesn't love YouTube, knowing that it's a staple of social media when it was first launched. 1-0. Chop foul to left, and Arozarena jumps. This has been a painful inning for the Mariners. It was all sunshine and rainbows for the Mets in the second inning. But here's the Mariners. They were beaten and banged up at times. J.P. Crawford got stung by his foul ball that he batted to himself. And here Arozarena, that might have hit his left foot, that foul ball. He'll stay at the plate. It is 1-1 to count. 35 pitches in, it's Holmes. The 1-1. And Young reaches back. Young tried to go, but he decided not to take the risk of stealing a base and reached back at first base safely. It is 2-1 to count as Arozarena never went. So Holmes staying put here at the mound for this next sequence. 2-1. Tried a dangerous swing, and that was not a ball he should have chased. 2-2 to count. That one way out the zone as Arozarena chased it. Cal Raleigh on deck if there's no double play. And Raleigh, of course, always a threat to hit the long ball. Arozarena foul to left. But a lucky souvenir will take this ball home. There's not a lot of seating here, but at those picnic tables where those fans are at, there'll be souvenirs. They'll be happy to take these home at any chance they get. The 2-2. And another foul ball that was hit towards the batter. This time, Arozarena fields it himself. 2-2. Still to count. Mets leading 3-0. But the Mets are like, where have we seen this before? 2-2. That's just downstairs. It's a sinker at 94. That'll make the count full. So it's just downstairs for Holmes. Just missed barely. Several feet. Alvarez is able to track it. Payoff. And that is swung on and missed. Holmes able to punch out Arozarena. That'll be 2 outs here. And with Cal Raleigh coming up. Arozarena just slightly missed the ball. A mere inches. That swing was slightly late for Arozarena. And now Raleigh, who is due up, always a threat to hit the long ball. He has 46 on the year. Chance to hit his 47th. On the first pitch, that is down the right field but foul. His favorite food is sushi. His favorite emoji is the fist bump. And he would love to meet Larry Bird. It's sushi. Oh yeah. Sushi always a staple. Now I know opinions on sushis are divided as Young reaches back at first safely. 1-1 the count. As this ball was near Raleigh. 1-1 as this one as Young reaches back again. Puts his hand onto the base. Alonso retracts, knowing that he would not be able to make the tag. 1-1. Downstairs. Did he even hit the zone on the changeup? 2-1 the count. The fans, as the Little Leaguers, are getting some more concessions here at Bowman Field. 2-1. To Raleigh, the pitch. Check swing. And couldn't get this all the way. They'll say he went. 2-2 on the curveball. He tried to retract at the last moment. They say that his bat went across. 32 strikes, 13 balls on 45 pitches for Holmes. To see where this ends up here for Holmes to try to get out the third. Raleigh. And it looks like this will be chased down nicely by Nimmo. He's there to make the catch. And he puts away Cal. Still, the Mariners are scoreless. And due up for the Mets are Soto, Nimmo, and Alonso when we come back here from Williamsport.
Okay, so while we have a moment, the NFL season is 18 days away from its premiere. Have you been viewing any preseason, Alec?
No, I haven't. Because I'm planning on doing regular season games only.
Alright. Well, I can tell you this. The Chiefs ones have only been on the field for more or less 2 plays, like as an entire unit, and they scored a touchdown. Other than that, it's been the backups, and it's been rough watching. But you know, that's the preseason. There are a few intriguing prospects, but I'm in the same boat as everyone else. Just let the season begin.
Yep. So a chance at vengeance for last year, and a chance to extend this dynasty for Kansas City faithful. And I know you got more speed on this receiver core, but what do you make of Jalen Royals?
Honestly, I haven't seen him enough to have too much of an opinion. I'm hoping he makes the team. But if I had to, but there is another guy who's actually a dark horse to make it, and that's the veteran, and that's Tyquan Thornton. the former Patriot. He's made a few good plays for the Chiefs so far.
And you know, never a bad idea to add more speed onto the team, and Tyquan Thornton does bring speed, though likely will be utilized on a depth role. So, back here, for the bottom of the third, as George Kirby's back out there, Soto never swung. But it's interesting always, you know, the O-line for the Chiefs already solidified Simmons, Sumatia, Humphrey, Smith, and Taylor really to be the starting five there. Strike one, as it is down the middle on the slider. Never went. And these major leaguers always want to keep a good eye on the ball. As Julio Rodriguez at center field, they interviewed, did Soto go? He did not. He's safe on a splitter. Tried to chase that splitter that went down low, trying to catch him off guard. And still these little leaguers watching onwards nicely here. They're enjoying their time here. Popcorn, hot dogs, you name it, with those concessions. 3-1 as J-Rod spent some time with the little leaguers and having some fun with them down the third and playing some ping pong. It's always some fun times here when you're spending time with the little leaguers. 5 pitches, and Soto will walk. So he'll walk to first base and occupy that spot. So it's a 5-pitch walk for Juan Soto, the former Padre, National, and Yankee. 68-56 are the M's. Brandon Nimmo is now up. It's strike one on the curveball. Fit it on the zone. So it'll be 0-1 on the count. Remember, first game, the NFL season, Cowboys and Eagles on September the 4th. Looking outwards, it is Kirby as he delivers one to Nimmo that is fouled to left field on the fastball 96. This next pitch will be Kirby's 40th. And these little leaguers still enjoying their time. Of course, that love for the game always appreciated all around by the little leaguers and the big leaguers. 0-2. Upstairs. This fastball went at 98 miles an hour. It's just barely missed the zone. Of course, the kids in there for a special night. So Juan Soto drew his 94th walk of the year. And Nimmo punched out on the slider. George Kirby does the job there and punches out Nimmo. So we have a little leaguer, Luca Pellegrini, interviewing Julio Rodriguez. Of course, the home run derby, he said, is so fun. Of course, when you participate in the home run derby, it is always fun. You can ask J-Rod, Cal Raleigh, Pete Alonso as well, who, of course, set the all-time record for most Mets home runs. Alonso gets strike one here. The fastball being this young man's favorite pitch, the fastball. 0-2. Yeah, he does throw, for the most part, fastballs all around. Across the two-seamer. The man put a magic marker all around it. 0-2, the count for Alonso up against Kirby. A double play will end the inning. Mariners need to get on the board. That is well downstairs, but it's blocked by Raleigh. So it'll be 1-2 to count to the Polar Bear. 44 pitches in for George Kirby. In life, in the big leagues, awesome, says J-Rod. 1-2. Downstairs. It'll be 2-2 to even up the count on the slider. A rocky outing for George. It's the Mets ball boy back out there and delivers a new ball. Seattle and the Mets. And this Little League Classic. It's a fun time at Bowman Field at Williamsport, these two. 2-2. And that's a full count after being down 0-2. George Kirby throws 3 straight balls. There's 46 pitches in for Kirby, who's having a rough night out. Allowed 3 runs in that second inning. Payoff. And ball 4. 2 walks here for George. First and second with 1 out. Still, a double play can end the inning. And the ball boy walking along with Pete Alonso on the way to first. He draws a walk here after going down 0-2. Now it is Jeff McNeil who is at the middle of this order. McNeil had a hit before. That was a double to put Alonso over at third base. And Francisco Alvarez finished that one by scoring an Alonso. So Julio Rodriguez spending time over at center field. He is mic'd up on the MLB on ESPN inside. So 2 rare walks for Kirby, having a rough night. McNeil skies one towards right field. And this will be caught by Dom Canzone. The throw all the way to second base. Soto gets back safely. And J-Rod's having fun out there. This was not deep enough to score for someone. It's not enough to move Soto. And he was wagging his finger as soon as that finished out. And most likely they'll be teammates at the World Baseball Classic, Soto and J-Rod and Alvarez. No chance there as Crawford and Young put away Alonso. That ends the inning. J-Rod, Josh Naylor, and Gino Suarez will be the first 3 up for the Mariners in the 4th inning when we come back here from Bowman Field. Here in Williamsport, Carlos Mendoza in his 2nd year as the Mets manager. In his career, he's a 154 and 131 record managing the Mets, as this is a sinker 92 right for J-Rod. That's strike 1. Want to chase that. Mendoza in year 2 as the Mets manager. Both these teams have second-year managers. Dan Wilson, interim manager last year, got the full-time job this year. 0-2 as this slider was on the right center dot. Clay Holmes nearing 50 pitches so far. As J-Rod batting third in this order for the Mariners. Worked out that they put Randy Rosarena to lead off. J-Rod towards right field. Going back is Soto. That's behind him. And off the wall. Rodriguez trying for 2. He'll get there. No chance for Soto as this one away from him. His exit velocity 105.6 miles an hour. And J-Rod's on the board here at second base. There's a lot of hard hit balls here at historic Bowman Field as Soto tried to chase it, but it was just behind him. And right off the wall. And that allowed J-Rod to get 2 here. Now it's Josh Naylor, who was quietly merging into a solid base runner as Holmes is once again at the mound here as Naylor. A crushed foul ball towards the right field. Is Naylor, who is quietly becoming a threat to steal bases now. Clash Royale is his favorite app. You could say his favorite game. The Mariners 11-4 since July 31st. So 0-1 counting for Naylor as this is downstairs on the slider. This Mariners team that once had Ichiro Suzuki and Ken Griffey Jr., they never had a player that led the league in home runs in their franchise history. Cal Raleigh's trying to change that this year. Griffey was second many times. The 1-1 to Naylor. Chop foul. So you get Ian back here. So I know you had to step away for a moment.
Yeah, I had a phone call, but I'm back.
No worries. Gotcha. Oh man, that's gotta hurt as this. Yeah, that was off the glove of Francisco Alvarez on the strike. Or was it a foul ball? We don't know. But 52 pitches in for Holmes. Is the Mets lead 3-0. The Mariners at the plate as they're trying to hand the Mets their 8th blown lead in the last 9 games, which would be unthinkable for a Mets team that's trying to stay in the playoff race and trying to hold off the Cincinnati Reds. We're still the only team to not get swept in a season series after their win over the Milwaukee Brewers. The 1-2. Down the middle for strike 3. No swing from Naylor, and Holmes gets the third K of the night. The Holmes having himself a nice night so far. That he's making a transition from reliever to starter look easy here. 2 curveballs and 2 sliders this year. Gino Suarez, the first pitch is downstairs. The sinker was a 94. You want to get the ground ball, you got to take more of those chances if you're Clay Holmes. If you want to keep it on the ground. 1-0 as Holmes looks at second base and then delivers. Once again, it's downstairs. Sinker at 94 is 2-0 to count. And I did want to mention something if we do get to the middle of the 4th, or when we do get to the middle of the 4th, I do want to mention something. Down the middle for Suarez on the curveball. It says 2-1. Here in this 4th inning is Clay Holmes. Still doing solid here as a starter now. On a rotation that has been seeing a lot of turmoil. You saw Sean Manaea miss time with injury. Naylor swung and missed. Suarez, I meant. Which batter is on the plate? Good Lord. 2-2 as Eugenio Suarez has the count evened up. He does not want to go down on strikes. Remember this Mariners lineup? Prone to striking out. That's not the way they want to go. Suarez grounds one, and this will move Rodriguez to third. Suarez sacrificed himself to move Rodriguez. A sacrifice ground out. There's no term for that. So Rodriguez attempted to steal. He got a head start with that. And Francisco Lindor picked that one up perfectly. He decided not to throw to third to try to get J-Rod out. Instead, throws all the way to first. So as to keep this going. Jorge Polanco now. Down the middle on the changeup. So good start there on this changeup as Polanco, switch hitter, 32 years old, from San Pedro de Macorís. Donovan Solano, the old vet who is 37 years old, reliable substitute. That's downstairs. That almost hit Polanco's foot. 1-1 is the count. And 60 pitches into his night is Holmes as nightfall settles in here at Williamsport, the site of the Little League World Series. 3-0 Mets. The 1-1. Polanco fouls this one to right field, so make it 1-2. Mariners are still scoreless, but they would love to get on the board by any means. 1-2. So 1-2 is the count as Polanco gets ready for this pitch from Clay Holmes. On the way, Polanco up the middle, right over Lindor, and Rodriguez will score. A knuckler right off the bat of Polanco, who drives in J-Rod home as it's right over the glove of Lindor. These two for sure, they know each other so well. Rodriguez and Lindor, they will face each other a lot of times in the upcoming World Baseball Classic as Lindor. He tried for it. It was a little too high for him and couldn't secure it. Normally one of the best defensive players in the MLB. Went right over his glove. Now here it is Dom Canzone, the right fielder. Canzone tap fouls this one behind. Almost scared some of the kids, but that protective netting is right there to shield them. Francisco Alvarez. Able to catch that one. Is it? Yeah, went right off his glove. An inadvertent tap foul right off his glove. That's the second time that's happened here for Alvarez. Pickoff. Polanco's back safely. Runner at first with 2 outs. That is Jorge Polanco. And already Clay Holmes trying to use the pickoff attempts to try to get Polanco out. You get 2 of those. On the third one, you must tag the runner out. Otherwise, the runner must advance. Did he go? And no, he did not. It'll be 1-1 as he retracted on the golf ball swing. This next pitch will be Clay Holmes' 65th. In Williamsport, such a historic site for Little League baseball games. The 1-1. Slash onto right field. That is deep. And it's scooped up by Soto. Rounding third is Polanco. Canzone with a base hit. And all of a sudden, the Mariners have life on the bats. 102.7 miles an hour. A home run will give them a lead. A double could tie it. The outcome at the bat of J.P. Crawford, who is 8th in the order. And through the right field line, yeah, Polanco and Canzone staying with the momentum. 65 pitches in is Clay Holmes, as we have a mound visit from the Mets pitching coach Jeremy Hefner. So in this meantime, we want to mention on board, I hear that if Crawford gets on base, the line keeps moving, and the Mariners want to keep the line moving. So Bowman Field, of course, a historic ballpark, been home to many Little League World Series games, and these kids, they love to watch this Little League Classic. And whenever the MLB teams come to play here at Bowman Field, last year was the Yankees and the Tigers. And at this point last year, the Tigers were not playoff contenders. But they beat the Yankees last year as part of that historic run to end that perennial playoff drought. To end that playoff drought that's been plaguing them for so long. And that win, that simultaneously coincided with loss number 121 for the White Sox, punched the Tigers' ticket to the playoffs and the ticket for immortality. Ball 2, as it went downstairs, as Lindor just missed out on that one. If he catches that and gets his glove onto it, the inning is over. 1-1 is the count. It's not ball 2. It's 1-1 the count. I apologize. 1-1. And that's just outside on the right hash. Just inches off the right hash. 2-1 to Crawford. Runners at the corners, but do remember it is 2 outs. So there cannot be a sac fly here under any circumstances. On the third base corner is Polanco. First base corner is Dom Canzone. On deck is Cole Young should Crawford reach. Longest tenure Mariner. 2-1. Swung on and missed. Good curveball from Clay Holmes to even up the count at 2. In the last 5 seasons, 70 pitches was the most innings that he pitched over his time with the Yankees. 63 over the previous 3 before this year. He is at a career high in innings pitched. Downstairs on the changeup, 88 miles an hour, and that's his 70th pitch. His 129 innings pitched, a career high, as he has made the conversion to being a full-time starter. He has the most This is the most that he has pitched in an inning tonight, 24 pitches. He wants to end it off with a strike on J.P. Crawford. He wants to make sure he does not reach. The payoff. Crawford fouls this one to left. So this inning will stay going at least the top of the 4th. So you still have runners at the corners. Polanco at third. Canzone at first. Everyone here in this crowd matching the energy that the players have because these are little leaguers striving to be professionals. Another payoff. And that's up. Ball 4. The bases are loaded. And 72 pitches in for Clay Holmes. Is Carlos Mendoza, is he going to come out? No, he's going to stay put at the dugout. There are relievers warming up at the bullpen. They're not throwing. But Tyler Rogers, it's one of the relievers that we're seeing at the bullpen. Mendoza is phoning the bullpen right now as we speak. As this is the first pitch to Young, which is just to the outside. A bases clearing double will make it 4-3 Mariners. Young with 19 RBI, 251 batting average on the season. That spike to the dirt almost threatened to be a wild pitch that could score in Polanco, but it never made it all the way towards the protective netting. 2-0 to Young. Polanco at third. Canzone second. Crawford first. Those are the base runners right now. But do remember, there are 2 outs here in this 4th inning. Holmes waits. And now delivers a 2-0. Inside, it's 3-0. That's the 13th pitch in which is issued a ball in this inning. 75 pitches in. Holmes wants some redemption by putting it on the ground to get the final out. 3-0. And that's strike 1. So at least something there for Holmes, but he does not want to exhaust his arm. A Rosarena on deck should Young reach. Whether it be a walk or an RBI. The 3-1. Young. Sky high. And Lindor, who was frustrated after that ball went over his glove, he'll catch this one so as to send us to the bottom of the 4th. And as we were speaking yesterday, as part of that win for the Dodgers over the Padres, if these two were to have the same record, Ian, the Dodgers would have home field advantage should they have a postseason series between these two. And now the Dodgers just completed the series sweep over the Padres.
It's like I said, man, the Padres are not built. They're not built to win anything, no matter what Preller does. Because there's always something that's lacking. Right? Okay. You needed a catcher that could hit. Trade for Freddie for me. Fine. But did you have to give up 2 of your starting pitchers to do it? Namely, one of them being Ryan Bergert, who gave up only 2 earned runs or 1 earned run today against the White Sox?
Yeah, you fix one issue, but you open up another can of worms by trading away one of your key pieces.
I mean, even if Stephen Kolek wasn't the best, and yes, he's in AAA right now, but the fact of the matter is, that's one of your starting pitchers.
Yeah.
And you need starting pitching. I guarantee you right now, you would rather have those 2 going for you than Dylan Cease and Nestor
Cortez, which when I look at that trade, I'm like, why would you do this?
Nestor Cortez. The same Nestor Cortez that made the Milwaukee Brewers look like an absolute joke at the beginning of the season.
And now look at the Brewers now, revitalized.
Mostly because they found their new pitching god in Jacob Mazeroski.
Yeah, that. And they are playing excellent defense. They're excellent at the base paths, and they're excellent at the plate. Yet, I feel the Brewers, they're on the same boat as the Winnipeg Jets were. Pressure to perform at the playoffs, all-time high.
Well, at least they can't lose in the wild card round if they keep first round buys, so that helps.
It does. So at least you get a ticket to the NLDS, but there's a feeling that they can catch up to the big dogs of the NL. Ball 1 on the curveball, but the Brewers, I feel that there can be a general feeling that they could catch up, but past playoff demons need to be overcome first, Ian.
Absolutely. And right now, they're the biggest dog in the league.
Ground ball to short, that puts away Beatty. So, and now the Brewers, they're the biggest dog. And mind you, this is a team that's bottom 10 in payroll. And it's remarkable because this is a team-first approach. And Pat Murphy building a system that keeps their egos in check. So, this team culture is among the league's best. Kirby delivers down the middle. Mark Vientos delivered a sac fly earlier this game. Trying to pull off some more magic here. 3-1 the lead here for the Mets. The Mariners trying to storm back. The 0-1. Just downstairs on the slider. If you're a fan of either one of these two teams, if you're a fan of the Mariners, of course, first you want to get this win so as to catch up as Vientos throws one towards left field, down, and he's got a base hit. Vientos once again finds some magic. This one towards shallow left field, nobody was there. Right towards an open hole. Perfect placement. And of course, teams here will love to come around here to spend time with the kids. Because these are little leaguers going to have big league dreams. Cedric Mullins on the first pitch, blocked. And Raleigh saw that one get away from him for the moment. But he gets onto it and jumps on top of it. As this game continues onwards. This 1-0 to count as Vientos is at first. The inning can end on a double play. The 1-0. Down the middle. Slider at 88. Great placement there. These kids, of course, they want to enjoy their time watching the big leaguers in the meantime, in between the games. And this one gets away from Cal. Vientos doesn't go. As Raleigh blocked that one, it ended up right in front of him. The ball was not in play. It was so close to being a wild pitch, but it was blocked by Cal Raleigh. Good block there. The 2-1, the pitch. Fouled off of Mullins. Of course, we go to specialties here. The Speedway Classic was a heavy disappointment. Well, save for the home run car. At least there was the sighting of Kyle Busch and Chase Elliott at Bristol Motor Speedway in that Speedway Classic. But the only home runs of that game were from Eli White, of all people, the guy who replaced Raul Acuna Jr. The 2-2. And Mullins punched out. On the top line, that caught him off guard. Didn't decide what, didn't know where to swing or not, because that was on the top line. And back comes Francisco Lindor, as he is third in this order. Retroacted to the bottom of the fourth, but he is the leadoff man. A left-handed bat, Lindor slashes one right over Young for a base hit. Vientos will stay put at second base. And that first and second, 2 outs here. Bottom of the fourth, 61 pitches onto Kirby's night. And Lindor on the base here. And the element of surprise being continued here is Soto on the plate now. We know how dangerous he can be whenever he steps on, whenever he is batting on the plate. Juan Soto has made a reputation of showing up in the clutch. Made some memorable moments, especially in a Nationals uniform when they won the World Series. In a Yankees uniform that 1 year last year. First pitch is downstairs, walked by Raleigh. 1-0 is to count, runners at first and second still. Soto had the go-ahead home run for the Yankees in Game 5 with the Cleveland Guardians at the 10th inning. 1-0 to Soto as Kirby waits. Vientos doesn't go, but that's just downstairs. Vientos goes back to second base as these kids, they're doing the time around here. The Red Sox have the Yankees in the current standings. Many things have gone wrong for the Yankees over the past 2.5 months. 2-0 to count as this is down the middle. Soto didn't chase after that one, but that's when they should have swung after. It was downstairs, just ever so slightly, as Soto thought about going after that one, but didn't. Mistake. 2-1 is the count. And a timeout called by Soto. It's a batter's timeout as he adjusts his baseball helmet. Soto waits as he is making some practice swings. 2-1 the count for Juan Soto. As Kirby delivers. That curveball was way too low. 3-1 the count now. And Soto has a good eye for his ability to draw walks. And these kids who have good eyes paying attention to each one of these pitches that Soto delivers. That makes it a 3-1 count. Soto's 2 outs should come in handy here. And here's the 3-1. And they're calling it a ball. I was wondering what in that curious decision. I thought that was a strike. But because there is no batter's box on this broadcast, guess we'll never know. So Soto's on base. He draws a second walk. Already the Mariners bullpen is warming up. Taylor Saucedo is warming up at the bullpen. Carlos Vargas also there. Dan Wilson staying put. A pitcher's timeout is being called by Kirby. He's discussing with Cal Raleigh. And a rough night for Kirby. There really is the issue more than 2 walks. Mark Vientos is at third base. Francisco Lindor at second base. And now you have Juan Soto at third base. This is not a mound meeting, but this is a pitcher's timeout. So, and Brandon Nimmo, who is a big fan of steak and potatoes because that's his favorite food. It's making us hungry. Of course, learning in this entire game, and the Kids cast announcers being Roman Brunetti, Thomas Gamba as Nimmo towards the middle. Crawford, excellent catch to leave all 3 runners stranded. J.P. Crawford does the job once again, and that ends the 4th inning. Do up our Rosarena, Raleigh, and J-Rod when we come back. As we're waiting along for to start this 5th inning, J.P. Crawford is playing admirably at the shortstop position for the Mariners. His defense has been spectacular. The Mariners' defense has been something of note to watch throughout these runs. The Mets, on the other hand, of course, they're getting their defense from Francisco Lindor. They look to get more from Cedric Mullins. That's what they got for the bats and the defense. So we're nearing that moment too. So in the meantime, so going back to that Speedway Classic, yes, it's at Bristol. So we want the races for the NASCAR playoffs, which, yeah, I made a tweet about that earlier. But the cutoff race is this Saturday night. The Coke Zero Sugar 400 at Daytona International Speedway. So 14 of the 16 drivers have been set for the field. Austin Dillon is the latest one to enter, as he's got redemption at Richmond Raceway, leading 107 laps. This is his favorite racetrack, Richmond. He's seeking redemption for last year when he right hooked Joey Logano and Denny Hamlin on the last lap of last year. This time there are no such crashes. It's all him. He had the best car out there, and he got his best win ever. And first pitch, swinging and missing, is a Rosarena in this 5th inning. So already, Clay Holmes picking up where he left off. We'll see when the relievers start to come off. The second pitch, just outside on the curveball. So a Rosarena. Same point as Sean Manaea joins the set. The MLB on ESPN. Manaea, who missed a lot of time to injury on the Mets rotation. There's not a clear-cut ace for the Mets, as this one tap foul on the sinker. So Manaea, who's been excellent when healthy for the Mets. This rotation consisting of him, David Peterson, Coy Holmes, Kodai Senga, and Nolan McLean, who replaces Frankie Montas. Chop foul. This one behind the foul line. So it'll be 2-2. They ruled it a foul ball. So this is going to be a turning point for the Mariners if they were to get back on the bases. They had all three of their runners stranded when Francisco Lindor redeemed himself on the pop-out. Just outside on the slider, 87th. Makes it a full count for Rosarena from Holmes. 82 pitches in as the Little Leaguers enjoying their time. They have games to play tomorrow. Out in the middle, and the Rosarena is out on strikes. And Manaya, having a time racing cardboard boxes with the Little Leaguers, enjoying time as he's sliding down the hills at Williamsport. Almonte is having himself a forgettable year. Demoted to long inning bullpen reliever. Tap foul for Cal Raleigh. Still chasing history. The AL all-time record for most home runs is 62. He struck out once before in this game. It's 46 home runs. The 0-1. That is wildly out. On this curveball, 1-1. Need to find more control. If this could not be settled down. However, as Raleigh delivers one to center field, but not moving by several feet, is Cedric Mullins, and Raleigh is put away. So now J-Rod on the plate now for the third time as he is stepping up. So Manaya, himself a solid year. There's a little leaguer who's doing the interviews one more time. So Holmes, Rodriguez ducked. That ball was nowhere close to him. 1-0 to count. So Pete Alonso is who Manaya says his favorite teammate. Of course, if you want to have a teammate to hang around with, as J-Rod delivers one, but on the line, Lindor right there to take us to the bottom of the fifth. Well, that was quick. Lindor, Alonso, wanted to be around. J-Rod on the Mariners. We'll be right back. It's 3-1 Mets as we're on the break. There's a lot that makes this special. We got some more final scores to go over as we're at commercial break. Mentioned the Phillies 11-9 over the Nationals. The Marlins 5-3 over the Red Sox. Alec Bohm returned to the Phillies lineup. He hits a home run as return to left center field. And after being tied at 6, the Phillies, they went up 11-6, held off a late run from the Nationals and Paul DeYoung, and held on to win. Marlins 5-3 over the Red Sox. And one of these home runs from the Marlins came from Dane Myers, who redeemed himself after an earlier mishap where he couldn't secure a ball, and that resulted in a home run from Wilyer Abreu. And Jacob Marcy hits the go-ahead home run. The Atlanta Braves beat the Cleveland Guardians 5-4, which helps the New York Yankees. Jurickson Profar with the game-winning home run, 339 feet to right field. That was the only home run of this game. And the Cincinnati Reds, as mentioned before, they're the only team to not get swept in the regular season series. Austin Hayes with the walk-off RBI single to left. That scored in TJ Friedel. Part of this young core of Ellie De La Cruz, Spencer Steer, Miguel Andujar, and Novi Marte. So now, if we get back here, the Mets on the plate again for this fifth inning. George Kirby once again takes the mound. For how much longer is the question. And the Mariners in this tight battle with the Houston Astros for the AL West spot. Alonso swung on and missed. Fastball coming in at 96 as he reached on that one. Way out to the left. He would love to meet Jimi Hendrix. He says 100 RBI for Alonso. The 0-1. That's at the bottom side. And that's just inside to make it 0-2 to count for the Polar Bears. Manaya still getting interviewed. The MLB on ESPN crew. The 0-2. Downstairs on a splitter. Tough pitches to throw, but not a bad idea to throw them every once in a while. Yankees win 8-4 against the Cardinals. The Giants 7-1 over the Rays. Puts a damper on their long shot playoff hopes. And here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. And the Polar Bear will go back to hibernate. 71 pitches into the night for Kirby. And the Rockies 6-5 over the Diamondbacks. They're now at 35 wins on the year. Despite James McCann hitting a sac fly to right that scored in Jake McCarvey. The Rockies get the upset. The slider at 86 is strike one for Jeff McNeil. 72 pitches into Kirby's day. On the 0-1. Outside on the sinker. 1-1. That was a little wild. So you do have Luca Pellegrini, who is pitching excellently in the Little League World Series. Outside curveball. But Pellegrini has been a standout player in this Little League World Series. The defending champions from Florida knocked out by South Carolina. 2-1. Downstairs on the slider. 87 miles an hour. 3-1. Manaya with a 78-63 record over 10 MLB seasons in his career. The 3-1. Hard hit to center. And that's a base hit. McNeil reaches again. He's having himself a nice night. Jeff McNeil is. From the DH spot. George Kirby continuing his up and down game. Normally this pitching staff would be right on track and get onto cue. Right on cue. It's the first pitch to Alvarez. It is just on the right line. In the zone here, that's strike one. Alvarez with a 257 batting average, 769 OPS. The catcher spot. Alvarez hits it, but is fouled back. The sinker at 97. So the impact that Alvarez has at the catcher spot, helping the Mets. He was sent down to AAA earlier on the year because he was struggling. He got his act together, and now he is back on a regular spot on the lineup. It's Alvarez. 0-2 to count here. Paul Blackburn was also DFA'd. A stint in the minor leagues. The 0-2. Just outside the left line on the sinker. Is Alvarez still looking at these pitches and outstanding. This next pitch will be Kirby's 80th. I regained that control. Alvarez gets his center field down for a base hit. First and second, one out. McNeil at second as Alvarez keeps the line moving. So Kirby's getting chased all around. He's 80 pitches in. Francisco Alvarez keeping the line moving. So this is not going to. And this is not going to bode well for the Mariners, given that first and second, nobody out. But nonetheless, it does bode well for the Mets. They want to turn around their season, because they are slumping hard. They do not want to risk another blown lead. They've done it 7 of the last 8 games. Slider 88 is downstairs. The Little Leaguers doing the wave again. And Beatty's favorite TV show is he's on the plate. Friday Night Lights. The 1-0. As is just on the bottom line. Curveball at 85. You get this off. A chance to increase the 3-1 lead. Remember, this Saturday will be the Coke Zero Sugar 400. The cutoff race at Daytona International Speedway. The 1-1. That ball bounces off of Raleigh. Nobody moves. 2-1. And there's a... So, for Tyler Reddick, he is mostly safe. But for Alex Bowman, he either has to win, have Reddick win, or a previous winner win. Because if there's a new winner, he is out. For Chris Buescher, Ryan Preece, it's must win. Sadly, at the expense of the other RFK Racing teammate between these two. The 2-1. That is at the bottom right corner on a slider. Kirby's nearing the end of his outing. See who comes onto the bullpen. If this is it for him, this will likely be the final inning unless there's a double play. So Kirby's still going. Brandon Nimmo, it's the best airline among the Mets teammates as the slider's blocked. Threatening to go beyond Raleigh, but that bounced off. Full count now as George Kirby is still going. The payoff towards left field, running up as a Rosarena. Everyone stays. Brett Beatty is off. Mark Vientos is on. To the plate, McNeil and Alvarez stay put where they're at. So 2 outs already, 86 pitches in. Vientos has a base hit and a sac fly already in this game. 7 home runs. He is well off the pace in comparison to previous years. And his first pitch is swung on. I thought they're going to call it a strike looking. Those airlines are all over the place. Juan Soto going with the curls on one of them. 0-1 as Vientos continues to look. All the celebrations started. All the celebrations. The home run celebrations. You can decorate them. The Mariners changing up the strategy so as to prevent balls from getting to the outfield. 0-1. Downstairs. Slider 88, which knots up the count at 1. If you do get a home run, you should celebrate in kind. 3-1 here. The Mets leading. Here's the 1-1. Vientos skies this down to right field. Going back is Canzone, and it is gone! Redemption for Mark Vientos, who hits his 8th home run of the year. 103.5 degrees down the right field line. On a launch angle of 13.5 miles an hour, 33-degree launch angle, 385 feet. As Vientos extends this lead to 6-1. And Sean Manaea likes that one. Vientos with a sky-high ball. It was right field, and that gets the Mets fans up and running. The opposite field pop, it is real. 1-0, the pitch from Kirby. Slash to right field, that is fair. And onto the wall. Mullins rounding to second. He will get there safely. And George Kirby allows 2 hits here in the 5th. And could this be it for him? His Mullins, he hits one right after Vientos made it 6-1. The Mariners in a bigger pickle. And the Mets needing something here to recapture momentum. It's a breaking ball down the right field line as Mullins, he went running after it. And keeps it fair. And Cedric Mullins still going strong as Pete Woodworth getting another mound visit for George Kirby. This could be the last that we see of him in this game, as 2 relievers are warming up. Edward Bizzardo is one of them. And that was spectacular from Mark Vientos hitting a home run, and Manaea's reaction, priceless. An opposite field shot to right field. And that one was a no-doubter. And Manaea stood up. He knew it. The Mets fans that came here, love it. And the kids, they knew it too. Mullins is the runner at second base, 2 outs. We go back to the top of the order with Lindor. Oh, and that's a ball. No swing. It is 1-0 to count. Lindor has hit 2 for 3 on the game. And Kirby allowing 11 hits, 6 earned runs. That was a painful night for Kirby. He wants to erase the memories of this one. Big swing and a miss for Lindor. He chased a golf ball. 1-1 is the count. We'd assume that this is likely the last we'll see of Kirby here. In this Little League Classic, Lindor has at least 2 hits in 5 consecutive games. This is the first time this happened since when he was with what used to be the Cleveland Indians in 2018. The 1-1. Outside, this is the curveball, 85. 2-1 is the count now. The Mets up 6-1. And I know, this goes for implications for Mets fans. Still steer clear of the Reds for the moment. As this is the 2-1. Big swing and a miss on the curveball. 2-2. 95 pitches for Kirby. In Lindor's last 5 games, 12 of 19, 3 home runs, and 6 RBIs. But if you're an Astros fan watching this, you got to be happy knowing that the Mariners, they're down, and this will keep the Astros in front in the AL West race. The count is even up a 2 for Lindor. I mean, it's up a nice game. Jeff McNeil and Francisco Alvarez standing out among the batter's point. Kirby delivers a 2-2. As inside, curveball 86 right between Lindor and the left line. And it puts a full count right onto Lindor. What pitch does Kirby throw here to try to get Lindor out? And does Lindor go after this one? He does! Lindor skies this deep right field. And it's dropped! Rodriguez can't make the play! Mullins will score! Francisco Lindor goes to second base. Julio Rodriguez dropped it. One of the best center fielders in the game. And a routine play gone wrong for J-Rod. As it's deep over the right field towards the track. Both he and Polanco were there. And it just went past his glove. That's a routine play. Playing on a minor league field, and he dropped it.
Yeah, I think this is a night that the Mariners wish they had it, and I think they wish they had a neuralizer right now.
You want to call the Men in Black or something, Ian?
At this point, I think the Mariners wish they could.
Yeah, so we're getting a pitching change officially. So at this point, barring a miracle, the Mariners, all they want to do is call the Men in Black and forget about this Little League Classic or this year's, because, boy, it's been a nightmare for George Kirby.
You know, last year's Little League Classic was so much more entertaining.
I mean, the Tigers, the Sons of Chaos.
Yeah, the Agents of Chaos, the Detroit Tigers. Who did they beat again?
The Yankees.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yep. Here you go. And back then, the Tigers, they had a minimal chance of even making the playoffs, yet they made it anyway.
Yeah, they scraped it all. They scrapped and clawed their way back. No pun intended. I'm hoping the Royals can do the same thing.
All right, so Kirby's done. You can see the frustration on the faces of J-Rod and Kirby after that. And for that one not being on Kirby, you have to make that play if you're J-Rod. But Kirby has had himself a rough outing. That's the 12th hit that he gave up as Rodriguez whiffed on a routine outfield catch. Ouch. Very rarely do you see an elite center fielder of defensive caliber like him mess up on that play. Here's the first pitch from Saucedo, and Soto, that is grounded, and Saucedo puts away Soto. As this is tossed from the first baseman Josh Naylor. 12 hits from the Mets in this game. We'll head to the 6th inning with the Mariners at the plate. So now, as you check around the scores around the MLB, and we got the Twins beating the Tigers 8-1. The Royals 6-2 over the White Sox. The Orioles demolishing the Astros 12-0. And the Diamondbacks, they lost to the Rockies.
They lost the series to the Rockies, I think. I think they lost the series.
6-5 this one. Oh my god. Oh my god. Ooh. And not only that, yet they lost 3 of 4 to the Rockies after winning the first one.
So, yeah. The mighty Colorado Rockies with their negative 325 runs, 27 run differential, excuse me.
Oh boy. Oh.
Take Monfort, sell the team right now.
It would do all of us a favor.
Somebody find incriminating photos of him and Bob Nutty.
Please.
Sell the team.
Oh my goodness. Oh. And of note in that Dodgers-Padres game, the Dodgers had 4 runs in that first inning. The Padres tied it in the 8th. But then it was Mookie Betts who saved the day for the Dodgers. Of course, each and every time I'll take the Dodgers over the Padres. And it's 3 long balls in the Dodgers. Freddie Freeman, Andy Pages, and Mookie. Padres got theirs from Fernando Tatis, Ramon Laureano, Ryan O'Hearn, and Candelita on a fielder's choice. So now here is Brooks Raley. His first pitch is a sinker at 92. It's a two-seam fastball. Josh Naylor has 15 home runs on the year. We start the season as Suarez's teammate. You know Suarez's teammate? He's once again Suarez's teammate. He was the first of two Diamondbacks to be traded to the Mariners. The other being, you get the point here. 2-0. Inside the right field, inside the right line of the zone, 2-1. The Raley is the first reliever on for the Mets after Quay Holmes' night ended after the 5th inning. Naylor up the middle. That doesn't even move Lindor one bit. 1 out. The Mets up 7-1. This is a night they'll remember here. It's Quay Holmes. So far, so good as a starter for the Mets. Been having himself a solid night. It's keeping balls inside the field of play. And whether there's a long ball, it is not long enough to leave the yard. Top line for Geno. 0-1. His favorite food is the arepa. He has 38 home runs, 35 with the Diamondbacks, 3 with the Mariners. Geno foul tips it back on the slider at 82. So among the league leaders in home runs, be surprised to see his name on the list. On the list that includes Aaron Judge, Cal Raleigh, and Kyle Schwarber. The 0-2. That ball is downstairs on the sinker. 1-2. The Raley's a lefty. Just like the first Mariners reliever to come onto the plate, Taylor Saucedo. Is Suarez trying to reach base again. 1-2. That one way upstairs on the slider. 2-2. Of course, the Padres and Dodgers always go to war with one another. That rivalry is, of course, as toxic as ever. Suarez fouls it to left. And the Dodgers, this year, they got the Padres' number. On the series, they are 8-2 against them. So if they were to be in the postseason, LA has tiebreaker. And here's the 2-2 again as Suarez punches out. He's put away on strikes as he went after this one. 10 pitches onto this inning for Raley. Before we see the next reliever on, I don't know if it's going to be Ryan Helsley, but Hell's bells haven't been exactly ringing at the Bronx. This first pitch right onto Polanco is down the middle. Top of the 6th. But we might not even see Hell's bells here unless it's a close situation. Swing and a miss. Makes it an 0-2 count. The Mets showcasing their talents. Now they're finally being rewarded for them. It's 0-2 now to Polanco, who is inserted at the DH spot. And Mr. Met, right around the stands. 0-2. Polanco goes after this one. Foul. So he'll have to go back to the plate. It was not enough for an infield single. Though Vientos will go back to his third base side. For Brooks Raley, this could be a short outing if all things go to plan here. And he can get one of the lower leverage arms because you have such a big of a lead now that you are up 7-1. You don't have to go all the way to your high leverage arms. No need for that. 0-2. Outside, it'll be 81 miles an hour. So 1-2 is the count. So Polanco still going here. And here's the 1-2 as Polanco slashes it down left field. And towards the wall. Polanco trying for 2. He will get there. He's got a single, now a double. Here at Williamsport. So Brooks Raley will have to stay for a little longer. The Bowman Field just close by downtown Williamsport, just to the west of it, close near U.S. Highway 15. Here's the first pitch right onto Dom Canzone, which is near him. So Polanco's going to stay at second base. Canzone has a base hit earlier, 287 batting average, 7 home runs, 20 RBI. He likes to keep the ball on the ground. Contact hitter, but he wants to get more ground balls. So Canzone 1-0. Way outside. It'll be 2-0 to count. This one almost was out of control. So it'll still be going here for Dom Canzone. And that's just outside the right field line. The right side line. Why am I confusing right field line and strike zones? There's 3-0 now to Canzone. Brooks Raley still going. If this doesn't go, probably might be a mound visit. Strike one, down the middle. With a slider, 3-1. 19 pitches onto the outing for Raley. These kids enjoying some cookies and cream ice cream. Some dessert. And that's a walk. Canzone gets on base with 2 outs. That'll bring up J.P. Crawford out the 8th spot. So now, Brooks Raley mound meeting is the Mets phoned the bullpen to get 2 more relievers warming up. And that include, so Ryan Stanek is not warming up, but warming up is Reed Garrett, 75 in white. Garrett usually one of the high leverage arms for the Mets. This is in the case if something happens here. So Garrett is warming up for the moment. So if this becomes a situation where it's getting uncomfortably close, then it may be time to trust your high leverage arms. So see how J.P. Crawford handles this one. How many is he going to score? Is he going to score 1, 2, none, or all 3 of the homers? 20 pitches in is Raley as Crawford towards left field, and going back as Vientos, they have to take a lot of steps. It stays 7-1. 2 runners are stranded, so we go to the bottom of the 6th with the Mets leading 7-1.
Let's see, where are we at? We still have about 3 innings to go. Yeah. This is the danger in sports, Alex. When you're covering a game that turns into a blowout, it can get a bit
A little slow.
Yeah. Just a bit.
It's like the world slows down and you feel like time has stopped. And you wonder when the end is going to be. It feels like that exact game.
Yep.
At least there's some intriguing games to look forward to. A little disappointed that this game turned out the way it did, but nonetheless, it was enjoyable for Mets fans. Well, for the Mariners, there's a shot of redemption tomorrow night when they head to Philadelphia. And not just that, the Astros begin their series with the Tigers too tomorrow night. Those are the MLB Network games. So those are tight AL West battles. And you got the San Francisco Giants and the San Diego Padres beginning their series up against one another. And it's hard to believe that the Giants, ever since trading for Rafael Devers, have the worst record in the league. It's hard to believe it.
Well, with that, the Giants have always looked after the years of Madison Bumgarner and that consistent core. I mean, the Giants are always a team that you don't know what they're going to be. A lot of teams you can say, oh, they're going to be bad, or oh, they're going to be good. The Giants, you don't know what they're going to be year after year.
Yeah, we don't know.
Because sometimes they'll look awful, and then, 1 year, we're just going to have all of our old guys turn 10 years younger and have vintage seasons and go on a run that can only be explained as devil magic.
And that's not been the case for Justin Verlander.
No, I think if Verlander doesn't retire after this year, then it'll be after next season. I don't think he has any more left in the tank.
Yeah, I think he's done.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I honestly think he should have retired after that run he had, that last World Series run he had with the Astros. Although you know what, when Steve Cohen comes at you with that much money, yeah, you take it. Who am I kidding?
Yeah, if Steve Cohen and David Stearns come knocking at your door, you take that money. Down the middle on the sinker. Well, Verlander did have one last hurrah with the Astros in the 2023 ALCS. A little nice Verlander versus Scherzer matchup for old time's sake. Ball one. Those were some good times to go down memory lane seeing Verlander and Scherzer up against one another, because you remember those days when they were on the Tigers.
Yeah, it didn't work out so well in New York.
It didn't. But go to new destinations, suddenly turn the clock back again. This was the case with Verlander and Scherzer in a capacity. Fly ball foul on the four-seam fastball from Pete Alonso. And nonetheless, Scherzer been pretty good as a mentor with the Toronto Blue Jays to get some stability on that rotation that is led by Jose Barrios, Kevin Gausman, Chris Bassett, and Eric Lauer. You can counteract that starting rotation with a decent bullpen. As a swing and a miss from the polar bear. He is down on strikes. 12 pitches in for Saucedo. He had one pitch in the fifth innings. But man, the Blue Jays, they're the surprise team of the year. Not from any team that's not named the Brewers. Sinker 92, strike one. And Jeff McNeil, who's had the best day of anyone on the Mets, he is back on the plate. 0-1. McNeil, he tried it again. This time he missed. So 0-2 here at historic Bowman Field. It's a Little League field. And so these dimensions are more shallower, per se, in a way. Here's the 0-2. Oh, that's downstairs. And it's blocked by Cal Raleigh. 1-2. How many times does Raleigh have to block off pitches from getting away all the way? 15 pitches in for Saucedo as the Little Leaguers getting their chances to make their chance. 1-2 here is Francisco Alvarez. It's on deck. 1-2. McNeil chopper to first. It'll be scooped up by Naylor. Puts his foot on the bag. And that wraps up the 6th. So, if you're a Mets fan, go stretch. If you're a Mariners fan, just think about the next game.
And find your son. You know what? You're a Mariners fan. If you're at home, just go ahead and crack open a cold one.
And maybe, yeah, you can discuss future series, but not this game. Just crack open a cold one and put this game behind. You're still hanging on to a wild card spot, and you have to hold firm to this because momentum can change one way or another on a dime, and there's no way of knowing which way is which. It's close to 10 p.m. Eastern. We had a 35-minute delay because of the rain that preceded this event at Williamsport, but that has gone away to the wayside. Now we have clear skies here at Williamsport. So now that we're inching closer to the NFL regular season as well. Well, a lot of unpredictability can come around each and every way as the season comes closer. I don't know if I'm gonna get the kickoff, but I know one game that I have circled for week 1. That is, of course, we do love a classic showdown of the holy quartet of AFC quarterbacks. And here being an AFC divisional rematch, Lamar Jackson's Ravens and Josh Allen's Bills. Right on cue, Josh Allen advertisement. Might have spoken that onto existence. And, you know, this game is at Buffalo, which is just the exact site of where the divisional round game was played. The infamous Mark Andrews drop.
You know what, though? Instead of the drop, he should have gotten more heat about the fact that on the fumble that happened, he wasn't turning upfield to head for the end zone.
That is what puzzles me. This is a first pitch strike, but if you don't turn upfield for the end zone, I don't know what you're trying to do. Are you trying to be too cute with the play? Well, you have to be moving forward. Forward progress is key. Cole Young fouls this on the grounder. But nonetheless, as we speak on this, on a day in which, and what we think of the Bills prioritizing offense, this was a game more known for their defense standing out. And Von Miller turning back the clock. He's going to be a Washington Commander, though, as Garrett deals. Ball 1, as is just outside. But feels strange seeing that Von Miller is not a Denver Bronco anymore, but now he's going to help out Commanders pass rush that needs more production on the edges. They do have solid talent from Dorrance Armstrong and Cleveland Farrell, but I feel you want to have someone who can help mentor one of them. Here is the 2-2. Whoa, Cole Young just had to jump out of the way at that fastball. It's a full count. Just outside the line. You're looking at this trade deadline. The Mets bolstered their bullpen of Tyler Rogers and Ryan Helsley. Young on the ground. Till Alonso scoops it up, steps on the bag, and puts him away. Arozarena comes up. So now Randy Arozarena trying to get something back for the Mariners, who have been stranded on bases all throughout this game. They had 6 hits, only 1 run. The only home run comes from Mark Vientos, who had a tough year this year. Arozarena dodged that one. 1-0. The hard hit rate for Arozarena from last year to this year, 44% to 52%. That's the 11th largest increase in the majors. Arozarena fouls this on the slider, but he's doing better at doing hard hit rates. Oh, God! Arozarena takes this downstairs. I'll pretend I didn't see that on the timeline.
What did you just see?
Your tweet! No!
I need you to send it to my DMs.
Dude, I need to get some eye bleach for that.
Send it to the direct message. I will suffer with you.
Oh my God! Well, on a more positive note, Arozarena, it's a creative way of setting a bat. This pencil, write this one down. Base hit Arozarena, 7th inning, he's on the board. And yes, Arozarena's bat is modeled after a pencil. That's a creative way to set up a bat, but something to make these kids happy here.
You know what? Last season, a Royals player named Dairon Blanco had one of the best stretches of his career using a crayon.
A creative way. Here's Cal Raleigh as he takes this one downstairs. Swung on and missed. Yeah, a crayon. Keep these kids happy, of course. Never a bad idea. See, decorate your bat. And Cal to left field. Retreating back is Nemo. Gone! Big Dumper does it again! His 47th!
All right. That is progress. That is progress. Alec, I'm still wondering what had you so shook a moment ago.
Oh my goodness. Wait a minute.
You need put it in the direct message.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. And J-Rod fouls this one. Hey, Cal Raleigh, that was a golf ball swing. He took it towards the left field side, and the Mariners get a home run at their own opposite field shot towards left field, and Nemo can only watch it fly. It almost hit the left field camera as he gets to Trident. 0-1 the count. The pitch, and J-Rod swung on too late. 0-2. So another piece of writing on the MVP bid for Cal Raleigh is Reed Garrett. Reed Garrett getting readjusted here. 1 out, 0-2 is the count. J-Rod wanting to go back-to-back here for the Mariners. Raleigh gets home run number 47th. Downstairs, a splitter. 1-2. 16 pitches for Garrett here. It's a middle leverage reliever for the Mets. And he's being utilized in this exact role. The middle leverage also suiting Gregory Soto. Ryan Helsley is a high leverage reliever. That ball spiked to the dirt. There's 2-2s, and Garrett wanted to get a splitter up. 17 pitches for Garrett. He's continuing. This could be the last we see of Garrett if he doesn't put away J-Rod one way or another. Carlos Mendoza preparing to walk out in any way. 2-2. Way out. Sweeper at 86. In which it spiraled out of control. And this is now a full count to payoff. J-Rod fouls it. And by notable home run records, as is noted, Mickey Mantle, 54 from a switch hitter. Javi Lopez, while at catcher in a game 42. The full count, J-Rod punches out swinging. And Reed Garrett gets himself out of the mess. 20 pitches in, and J-Rod will sit down. The record for most home runs by a catcher, 48, set by Salvador Perez in 2021. The high cutter from J-Rod, to Aaron Judge and Cal Raleigh in this AL MVP chase. Cal with 47 home runs, 2 RBI. And Garrett's still on the mound. Carlos Mendoza wants to give him one more go. 0-1 the count. The OPS for Judge sits at 1.135. Wins above replacement, 7.3 for Judge, 7 flat for Cal Raleigh. 0-1. For Garrett, the pitch. High in the air to shallow center. This will be an easy put out for Francisco Lindor. And he caught that one. Oh, he secured it. Did he drop it a bit? They'll say he didn't. But Cal Raleigh puts the Mariners within 4 in the 7th inning. So now the Mariners will need one of their high leverage arms to deliver here in the bottom of the 7th.
I am not ashamed. I am not ashamed.
Oh my God!
Listen, man. Listen. I would be a failure if I didn't admire it. If I didn't.
Oh my God!
I do my vices once in a while. I would be a failure of a human being.
Oh my! We've entered the comedy hour, haven't we? Oh my God! Oh.
Ashamed? I am not.
Oh my goodness! Hey!
Well, you know what? Hey, what can I say?
Oh my God!
Look, man, what can I say? It's like the Sahara Desert out here. I'm wandering in the Badlands.
Oh my God! Oh man! What a moment! What a moment!
This will be chalked up as one of those moments in our history, Alex. You know what? Just embrace it. Just say, you know what? Just go ahead and laugh. Just get smart.
Yeah.
Just one. I am no different than any other man on this planet.
Whoa! Hey! We all have our tastes.
Well.
Oh!
This.
Oh my God!
I am not ashamed. If anything, I am vindicated.
No shame, Ian. No shame at all, my friend.
Oh, come. Hey, just because I don't see you doing it on the timeline doesn't mean you don't do it.
Just as the first pitch is made and Saucedo places ball 1 on Francisco Alvarez, who's got a single, a double, an RBI, and 2 runs so far. Oh my goodness, here's strike 1. On the right center, 1-1. Oh my. Man, so thirsty that he could possibly drink some chocolate milk. But nonetheless, this was a ball that hits the right field wall, and Alvarez is safe at second base. Talk about thirsty for something. He's thirsty for taking additional bases. He slid his way to second base, as he tried for it as it bounced off the right field wall. And Carlos Mendoza is checking in on Alvarez. He seems to be bending himself a little awkwardly after sliding onto second. And now, he may have hurt something as he held on to second base. Was it the right hand? He got jammed right on the front, going headfirst onto the plate. What you're supposed to do is raise your hand. And he may have hurt his hand, so that's what Mendoza's checking in on Alvarez for any injury concerns. So, that's the holdup. So they're checking. So the medical staff is checking. That was his third hit of the game. So he is getting checked on his right hand. He looks like he's gonna stay in. So that's good news for the Mets. Alvarez staying on the game. The backup catcher is Luis Torrens, 13 in white. In any case, if he were to be replaced, he would have to be replaced by a pinch runner. And all likely you will be thinking along Ronnie Mauricio. Maybe even Tyrone Taylor or Starling Marte. Alvarez slid head first and took the extra base. And the fact that he is still here is good news. The first pitch. And trying to bunt it was Beatty. It's strike one down the middle. His favorite food is a cheeseburger. 13 home runs for Beatty on the year. 240 batting average this season. So Alvarez stays put in the game. The 0-1. Big swing and a miss on the sinker. 0-2 to count. The Seattle Mariners trying to chop onto that Mets lead. Trying to take it for themselves. Mets trying to avoid blowing another lead. And to put an end to that damper, which has plagued them for 7 of the last 8 games. Upstairs. No, it's right on the top line. For Taylor Saucedo. So the Mark Vientos homer is the only one that the Mets got on the long ball. So Vientos, long ball towards the right field side. Francisco Alvarez almost got another, but it's off the right field wall. So now Vientos back, 2 for 2 of a home run. Low chopper to short. Vientos out. It was scooped by J.P. Crawford. It will move Alvarez to third. Crawford decided not to throw to third base. And Josh Naylor took care of business there. Nothing doing for Eugenio Suarez. And Vientos is punched out. That's the first time he didn't reach a base in this game. So as Vientos exits onto the dugout, Saucedo stayed. The first pitch, big swing and a miss for Mullins. Runner at third. The runner at third is Alvarez. If he's not in the MLB, he said that he would have been an engineer. The 0-1. That's outside as Cal Raleigh. That one is 1-1. Mr. and Mrs. Met here. Here's Saucedo ready up for the 1-1. Big chop foul towards the right field side. And it looks like Ryan Helsley is warming up at the bullpen. So Carlos Mendoza is not taking any chances. Hells bells about to play out here momentarily. The 1-2. Another chop foul towards the right field side. Sinker, 92. As Mullins is trying to get one up. So Helsley trying to rebound after a rough start with the Mets. Of course, Hells Bells, the iconic song used by former Padres closer Trevor Hoffman. 27 pitches down by Saucedo. He's the 28th one, which is way outside on the fastball. The count is 2-2. So 2-2. If you're on a new team, you want to prove to that team that you bring something of value to that team. The 2-2. Mullins airs one to right. That doesn't move. Dom can zone a lot. And that ends the 7th. Gino Suarez, Jorge Polanco, and can zone. The middle of the order. They'll all be facing Ryan Helsley in the 8th inning. We'll be right back. You know, we're coming across the final week of the preseason, and on my end, Ian, for my Steelers, it's mostly guys that are competing for practice squad spots, and some they're fighting for a roster spot. One of the guys that I paid attention to a lot was Trey Sermon. I thought that he was going to take RB1 when Raheem Mostert went down with the 49ers, but that hasn't been the case. Sermon's looked solid in the preseason from time to time, scoring a couple touchdowns. I feel if he does good enough, perhaps if there is room, he could be a 4th running back, though I don't see how he squeezes onto that room with Jalen Warren, Caleb Johnson, and Kenneth Gainwell. Sermon could take a practice squad spot. In all likelihood.
Yeah. What was it? Oh. Yeah, it's the same thing with the Chiefs right now. Just guys playing for roster spots. Yeah, we're just waiting for that first game against the Eagles and the Cowboys. I gotta be honest, Alex. I may need to go to church after that game because I'm put in a conundrum.
Oh boy. Well,
any day of the week, I will root against the Cowboys. But right now, I cannot stand the Eagles, which means I have to do something unholy, and that is root for the Cowboys.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is that.
Because I will never root for the Eagles for a while. I will not root for the Eagles' success.
Yeah. And you know me, as a Pittsburgh sports fan, I don't ever root for a Philadelphia sports team. Ever. So it's one of those rare times where, like, I'm with you there. Now I may have to root for the Cowboys, which, for me, it is unholy. And speak of unholy, Ryan Helsley, 3.70 ERA, and the first pitch is a foul ball down the left field line from Gino Suarez. But I feel we're also waiting for that Sao Paulo game between your Chiefs and the Chargers. Helsley?
Oh,
Yeah, Helsley delivers the 0-1, and Suarez fouls this back. And perhaps Sao Paulo could use some redemption after last year with those field conditions, which were substandard. And that may be an understatement. 0-2 to count here as Helsley, the former Cardinals closer, getting set here to deliver right on Suarez, who is up against the count on strikes. The 0-2. And not there. Just to the left of the zone on the cutter. Helsley, who I thought was going to be with the Detroit Tigers, instead ended up with the Mets. Instead, the Tigers got Kyle Finnegan from the Washington Nationals. Suarez fouls again. This fastball strikes triple digits, 1-0-1. And with the Mets up by 4, I get the understanding of Mendoza not taking any chances because you want your high leverage arms on a 4-run lead, knowing that this team has been blowing leads 7 of the last 8 games. So it's understandable why they're going with the high leverage arms. He's not taking any chances here. Here's the 1-2. No swing. It is downstairs on the cutter. It is 2-2 to count here for Geno. So Helsley still going here. Looking for some redemption. The former Cardinals closer. 2-2. Strike 3. Right down the middle. Helsley punches out Geno. That call from Nate Tomlinson gets him punched out the plate. So this will put in Jorge Polanco right onto the vertical, 13 inches more to drop than the average, 0.6 inches less break than the average on the cutter. And Geno Suarez disagrees with that call. And check swing at third base. No. Polanco didn't go. He stays put, 2 for 3. So Polanco starts the scoring for the Mariners. Cal Raleigh continued that scoring. He has a single, a double, and an RBI. 18 home runs for Jorge. Big cut and a miss. That one went downstairs, 1-1. 7-3 to lead here for the Mets. If Helsley pitching to Polanco. It is 10:20 p.m. Eastern Time. On a game that's been going on for 2 hours and 35 minutes now officially. As Helsley readies up for the 1-1 with 1 out. On the way. Big swing and a miss. A successful cutter from Helsley. Gets Polanco up against it. Someone that can benefit a lot. Fans chanting Jorge here. And he punches out swinging. The cutters keep on going here for Hell's Bells. And there's another one gone. 10 pitches in for Helsley. And could this set up Edwin Diaz? This is not a save situation, but Carlos Mendoza is not taking any chances against the Mariners. Polanco was a little too early on the swing. On this high fastball with the cut. Right off the table. The first pitch. It is downstairs. 100 for Helsley. Four-seam fastball. Fastball that was fouled back as Helsley continues to deliver. Time and time again. With 1-0 being the count. The pitch. It is downstairs again. Another four-seam fastball to Dom Canzone. So 2-0 to count. So this lead 7-3 for the Mets. Are they able to protect it? The 2-0. That is outside again. This time it is near Canzone, which makes it 3-0 to count. So Helsley wanting to finish the job here in the top of the 8th inning. Pete Alonso edges backwards, not taking any chances. 3-0. Pitch. Down the middle. This time it went 97 miles an hour on this fastball. Makes the count 3-1. As Canzone continues to look at these pitches one by one. How does it go? Inside, they say. It is a walk. And Helsley doesn't think that was a strike. And Helsley, he thinks that was a strike. He doesn't get the call. He thinks this was on the left line. See how this went. And it just missed out by several inches. It just missed out as Helsley fouled to left for J.P. Crawford, who was 1 for 2. Still going. His favorite show is Game of Thrones. It's a base hit and a walk. 44 RBIs. The next pitch will be Helsley's 17th. Crawford getting set for this one. Wildly upstairs, but not too dangerously away from the play. Canzone's at first. 1-1 the count on JP. The Dom Canzone on base. The 18th pitch soon enough for Helsley. There it is. And on the right line. Cutter at 89. It's just 1-2 on the count. Is Ryan Helsley looking to finish this off. 2 fastballs followed by a cutter. He's changing up the strategy here. 1-2. And count leverage does matter for pitchers. 1-2. Upstairs and way upstairs at 100. 2-2 now. If Helsley finishes the job, we may likely see Edwin Diaz in the 9th inning. So we'll see one way or another. Timeout called by Crawford. See, he's taking his time. A colorful bat filled with rainbows. 3 fastballs and a cutter this sequence for Helsley up against Crawford. If he reaches, this will lead to Cole Young, the rookie. 2-2. Crawford fouls this one behind. That's the 4th fastball of this sequence. And the ball boys. It's a protection. The Moose wanting to get loose. And Crawford wanting to get the Mariners back in this game.
There is only one Moose. There's only one man worthy of the nickname Moose in MLB history. And he played for Kansas City.
Mike Moustakas.
Yes, sir.
I was noting about the Mariners mascot, though. Because the Mariners mascot is a moose.
Does it have antlers with 3 points on either side?
That's how I see it.
Yep. That tracks.
Yep. The Mariner Moose. Creative. 2-2. Crawford towards the line. It'll be fouled on the tracks. Nemo and Beatty were going after it, but no luck for either one of them as they will not get a chance for the foul out. 2-2 still is the count. And so the Astros and Mariners separated by 1 game. The Rangers are 7.5 games back of the AL West as lead. And the highest they can settle for is a wild card spot. 2-2 again. And it's a full count now. Cutter at 88. Helsley is staying put for a little longer. All he has to do is punch out Crawford. This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat. That's sweet 7-3. And Crawford. Payoff. And Crawford. And Pete Alonso's there. Helsley rushes to the bag. Takes out Crawford. Lindor, Soto, and Nimmo. Up next. In the bottom of the 8th. Lindor is 3 for 4. Can he add to that? Find out in a moment. It's still this game having no end in sight. But the end may be closer for the Mets to get a victory that will most certainly help their season. Because all these blown leads are really hampering them. And they're really putting a damper on their season. Losing 14 of the previous 17, a win will help them a ton. As long as there are no blown leads to speak of. But Edwin Diaz, one of the very best at closing out games, will likely be on the mound in the 9th inning for the Mets. Not a safe situation, but New York is treating it like one. Mark Vientos at the first home run. Cal Raleigh had the only other one. And as I speak of the NFL, John Mechie was traded to the Eagles earlier today, along with a late round pick in exchange for Harrison Bryant and another late round pick. Some more depth added to the Eagles, and a bummer in Houston, given that Mechie was supposed to be a part of this young core. And we out the slot alongside Nico Collins and Tank Dell. Injuries and inconsistency put a hamper onto him, and he was passed on the depth chart by Xavier Hutchinson. Bottom of the 8th here in the Little League Classic. Kids got to enjoy their time here at Williamsport, but then tomorrow we'll be back to business for the Little League World Series. And now, the Mets batters on the plate. Francisco Lindor to lead off. And the way that he played in the waiting months of last regular season, and his outstanding defense sealed him as the NL MVP runner-up. Jackson Kowar, the first pitch, is a ball on a slider upstairs. Kowar, or rather it's a strike. Kowar is the next man on the mound for the Mariners as part of this bullpen. Now this is one of the arms in which they would use to come back from behind. This swing towards the right side, 0-2, as Lindor fouls. 3-4 on the night. Lindor tried to continue this spectacular game that he has had throughout. The 0-2 upstairs on the fastball, 97. Kowar trying to locate the zone, but that wasn't the case. The 1-2. Big swing and a miss, and Lindor will sit. Kowar gets the strikeout. And Juan Soto, his favorite athlete growing up being Manny Ramirez. His favorite food, pastelón. His go-to app is Instagram. This was he was interviewed from the Little Leaguers. Francisco Lindor wasn't the MLB. He said he would be a dentist. First pitch from Kowar. And they're going to check the swing. They'll say he didn't go. It is 1-0. So Soto has been electric in clutch moments. If his team needs a home run, he's got you covered. Soto on the 1-0. That's inside the bottom right corner. The slider hit the zone at 97 miles an hour, and it's 1-1. And Soto living life large here at the Bronx, into a 15-year deal. Just barely missed as it went just slightly downstairs on the fastball. 2-1 is the count. And Soto is still looking onwards. The 2-1. Ball outside on the right side. His slider at 86 miles an hour to make it a 3-1 count. And Soto walked twice earlier, but he is 0 for 2 whenever he chases the ball. These kids, this kid has her eyes on us. He's having fun with the camera. 3-1. And that's Soto's third walk of this game. So he's walked 3 times already. And what a night it is. And it's a 93 he walks, I think. So let's go check back the stats from Juan Soto, who's walked 93 times entering this game. This is 96th walk. 1-0 to count on Brandon Nimmo, third in the order. Playoff warrior last year. And I mean in the sense that he played through injury. The 1-0 to Nimmo. Nimmo fouls this one to right out of Kowar. And finding Nimmo. 1-1 is the count as Kowar 11 pitches onto the outing. This is 2-1. Slider 87. So it was just outside. 2-1 is the count as the gloves lightning quick. It's Nimmo with the M on his belt. That's a strike, and Lindor steals second without a throw. So now Lindor is in the 20 steal category. So he has 20 stolen bases entering this game. Now make this 21. So here's the 2-2. Grounded one past Crawford. And Lindor moves to third on the base hit from Nimmo. Or that was Soto, rather. So Juan Soto, who's in the 20 stolen bases category. He's joined Lindor in 20 stolen bases. Juan Soto goes to third. Past Crawford as Nimmo gets one to the opposite side of the field. Crawford dove for it. Couldn't get it. As Soto saw this one slide by Crawford. He went for it towards the left center side. And here's the polar bear, Pete Alonso. First pitch is Alonso. Fouls one to left. Dino Suarez decides not to throw it. Jackson Kowar and Pete Alonso were teammates with the University of Florida in 2016. It's the first time they're facing off against one another in the MLB. So former college teammates. So familiar as Alonso went low and missed. On the slider at 86. 0-2 now to count. It's Kowar trying to get the deal done. Peaky Blinders, Pete Alonso's favorite TV show. 100 RBI for the polar bear with 28 home runs. It's a lot of bragging rights. Kowar gets set for the 0-2. Runners at the corners with one out. On the way. Went low and missed it. That didn't even look good for the polar bear. Chased the ball he should not have. And one after another, Kowar gets the best of Alonso. Oh boy. It was a late break for Alonso as he went low. So now up for the Mets is Jeff McNeil. He's mostly been automatic tonight. He likes to chase after these baseballs. He hits one to first, and Josh Naylor can only backpedal. That's all he has to do. Cole Young, Randy Arozarena, and Cal Raleigh up against who we're likely going to see, Edwin Diaz in the 9th inning. Not a safe situation, but expect trumpets. Lots of them when we come back.
Okay, so we are getting closer to the end of a rather long night.
This looks long, admittedly, because this feels like a game in which when is it going to end? But the end may be in sight, mercifully for one team. For the Mets, they don't want this night to end. They want this night to be a lasting memory if they want to turn around their season. Because they need it.
Well, at the very least, Alex, we have a moment to put into our broadcasting partnerships lore.
Yeah. That's an old timer. Oh my goodness.
I am not apologizing.
Oh. I'm also just waiting for the next South Park episode to come out because season 27 is well underway, and already it's been.
It's been pissing everyone off.
And we love it.
Yeah.
Hey, Satan!
Oh God.
Oh my goodness!
Why you gotta bring Satan into your business, man? Hasn't he suffered enough?
I mean, he
let's
has.
let's look at his history, right? First of all, he is the poster child for child abandonment issues.
Oh my God! So now it is not Edwin Diaz. It is Tyler Rogers who throws 2 strikes on 2 consecutive sinkers. This side armor of an unconventional pitching style, but lots of sidearm throws. But man, why does Satan have to be on the bad side of everything going in South Park? He's just trying to live his life in hell.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
Do you think he gets visits from Mark Schott?
Maybe.
Oh God.
Oh.
Actually, you know what? No, if I had to pick, no. Let's look at the grim reality of this. He most likely gets phone calls from Harold Ballard.
You know what? Yeah, he does. How are the Leafs doing? Well, and Harold Bauer is getting all that sweet revenue in hell. Foul ball to left was caught by Beatty, 1 away. Oh. Man, can the Leafs go on a deep run for once, please, and not just agony?
No, that's the curse of Harold Ballard.
Oh.
As long as he maintains his contract with Satan, the Leafs will never know joy.
Oh man. Is Rosarita takes ball 1. Favorite food is frijoles. Yum. 1-0. And Tyler Rod.
Yeah, as soon as Austin Matthews retires, the Leafs fans are, well, don't worry, we'll have plenty of bottles ready for you.
Is this playable? They'll say it's not, but it's a foul ball. They'll say it's a foul ball right behind. So, not Edwin Diaz. Tyler Rogers, who he acquires the side armor from the San Francisco Giants. San Jose Butto the other way. Rosarena, the shallow right center field. Caught by Luis Angel Acuna, who is taking the place of Brett Beatty. And Beatty got moved to third base. Mark Vientos subbed out. So 1 more out until this game is over, ending with a Mets victory. That's all the Mets need. The Mariners looking for a miracle, and the Mets trying to hang on. The last hope here is Cal Raleigh, who has a home run earlier. And Raleigh popped up to shallow left field towards the foul tracks, and it is not playable. It is beyond the left field line and onto the seats. So Beatty will have to go back to third base. Lucky Souvenir's going to get that. It went to the seats. 0-1 is the count. Top of the 9th inning. 10 pitches in for Rogers as Raleigh skies one towards left, down. Towards the line, and Nimmo will scoop it up. Holds Raleigh to a single. So Cal Raleigh has another hit to add to his AL MVP case. A tight battle with Aaron Judge. And Raleigh's the closest competitor. this kind of feels like when Jose Altuve was going up against Aaron Judge in the AL MVP race 8 years ago. Not playable as it's a foul ball. Julio Rodriguez likes playing video games. It's a hobby for him. The count is 0-1. And they're playing If You're Happy and You Know It. Clap your hands. And the kids, they remember that. To the extent, of course, clapping along and you're a kid and you remember the good old days. The 0-1. J-Rod towards right field and it'll be down in front of Soto. Mariners have runners at the corners with 2 outs. And don't go anywhere. The Mariners have some life left in them. There's still a fighting chance for them. And the next one up is Josh Naylor. And if he reaches, is Eugenio Suarez. Carlos Mendoza checks the situation outwards. Nobody's warming up at the bullpen yet for the Mets. Rogers trying to get the last out here. That's all he has to do. They were trying to extend this game. Allen Iverson, his favorite athlete, they were struck out previously. Naylor grounds it up the middle, and here's the throw from Acuna, and that does it. The New York Mets hang on to win 7-4. 7-3, I meant. Excuse me on that blunder. 7-3 the final score. 14-10 the hits. For the Mets, no errors. As Tyler Rogers redeems himself. Naylor, the last out. And everyone can go to sleep here at Williamsport. So, there it is. The Mets win tonight. And that helps out the wild card teams doing the chasing right after the Yankees. That means the Guardians, Royals, and Rangers. And this also helps the Astros in their AL West chase. So as it comes to an end, say goodnight here from Williamsport. Is there anything else to say before we wrap this up, Ian?
No, sir. I think I've said everything I need to say.
Oh, boy. One of the greatest laughs that we've ever had.
Yes, sir. All right, man. I'll talk to you when I talk to you.
All right. Take care.